Your engines.
Defending Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon certainly has reason to celebrate. He retook the point lead with his 8th win of the year last week at Dover, Delaware. But remember, last time that happened was July at Talladega. He won and took the point lead. 1 week later, he tumbled to 37th at Indianapolis. That's why they're concerned about today's race. For his teammate, Texan Terry Labonte, well, he had success early in the year, as evidenced by a win at Old Wilkesboro Speedway. He led the points for a total of 8 weeks, but 2 of the last 3 weeks, he's had his troubles and now finds himself in second spot, 76 points back. Terry should be a factor today. If either of these teammates tumble, well, there's one man who is poised to make the pass. With more, here's Bill Weber.
This year, Dale Jarrett has won the biggest race, the longest race, and the richest race. But he's never won the shortest race. In fact, in 77 short track starts, Dale Jarrett has never been to victory lane. But he thinks Martinsville may owe him one. When we came here in the spring, Dale Jarrett had the points lead. When we left, Dale Earnhardt took it with him.
I'm going to get healed up here, and I'm going to show some aggression here before the end of the season's over, hopefully.
Today at the Martinsville Speedway would be a perfect time for Dale Earnhardt to get aggressive. He starts here on the backstretch after qualifying in the 19th position. Earnhardt, 10 straight races without a top 5 finish. That is a dubious tie with a record for him. It would certainly be very frustrating for Earnhardt and the rest of his team if they do not win today or at least finish in the top 5. And speaking of frustrations, we saw them come to a boil last week at Dover.
I just tell him I'm sorry.
You just can't race Derek Cope. Nobody ever has been able to.
He had the audacity to come over here and accost me. You know, I'm not happy with it, and I'm going to talk with NASCAR about it. You know, he's just lucky I didn't knock him on his butt.
Well, a lot of angry words there last weekend, but I think there were a lot of factors that went into the tempers boiling last week at Dover.
And I think frustration was the biggest thing. All the drivers you saw, they haven't won in 1996, and when you don't win, you do get frustrated. Also, that was the 11th straight week. And, folks, you just can't imagine how much it wears on you physically and mentally every weekend to have to go through the pressure these drivers go through. And, Ned, this is the 12th week in a row.
Yeah, and normally you think in terms of the tempers playing when you get to the short tracks like Martinsville and North Wilkesboro next week. And they got to play cool on this racetrack to keep the brakes cool. Brakes is such an important factor on this racetrack. Those who save the brakes are the ones who has the best chance at winning near the end. Patience is the key.
Couple of more laps before the green flag. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's race. As you take a look at it, we will tell you that, of course, this race is 500 laps long. So a lot of wear and tear on the cars and the drivers. The weather beautiful here. We had rain overnight, and a lot of people thought that the rain would stick around until today, but it is beautiful here, and we anticipate a great race. There's Jeff Gordon starting back there in the 5th row, starting in 10th position, and Terry Labonte and his brother will be alongside in the 6th row.
There's row 8, Schrader and Presley. And Ernie Irvin and Jeff Burton. Irvin got the same car he won at Richmond with.
And remember now, these guys on back through the rest of the field will pit on the back stretch because we only have 18 stalls here on the main straightaway. Not as much of a factor as it used to be. Now, Stacy Compton has picked up a sponsor on that car. First Union is not reflected there in the starting lineup. However, Stacy will carry the First Union colors here this afternoon. Stacy, of course, had a 9th place start here in Martinsville in the spring race, ended up in 33rd spot. There you take a look at the provisionals, the first time that Sterling Marlin has ever taken a provisional since he joined this team. And Ricky Craven from the pole in 1996 in the spring race to the biggest hole he'll have to dig himself out of starting last here today. And look at these guys that didn't make the field.
Boy, some great names there. Derek Cope, Brett Bodine, Ward Burton, Billy Standridge, Gary Bradbury, and Chad Little.
All right, here we come. Crowd's on our feet. We're on our feet, folks. We are ready to race at Martinsville. Green flag.
Rusty Wallace has the lead. It's the 18th time that he has led here at Martinsville. The advantage was about a half a car length when he crossed the line ending the first lap.
That's pretty impressive, starting on the outside here at Martinsville and being able to hang on there and take the lead.
As a matter of fact, he and Hamilton, the pole sitter, made contact right after the green flag.
Kyle Petty moving up to the inside of John Andretti there at car number 98. Now down the backstretch, they are side by side. This is the battle for 6th position.
They have a camera on Kyle Petty's car. That's riding along with it.
That's mounted on the side of the car, looking over towards the 98 of John Andretti. And they're still wheel to wheel.
Ooh, Bobby Labonte spins coming off of turn 2.
He hits the end of the pit wall.
And no caution yet. He gets going. So no caution. He stays on the lead lap.
Yeah, if he can stand on it here and get going up to speed, he'll avoid losing a lap. Back up front, it is Rusty Wallace staying ahead of pole sitter Bobby Hamilton. Mark Martin running third. Then Dale Jarrett and Morgan Shepherd. Now Hamilton took a look to the outside there in turn 4.
Well, he saw what Rusty Wallace was able to do there on that first lap, and he said, maybe I can move up there and get enough traction to move by on the outside, because Rusty is certainly protecting the inside. Now Hamilton looked the inside, but with nothing there.
And as you saw, Kyle Petty was able to get that 6th position from John Andretti. Now Hamilton goes inside to take a look.
Morgan Shepherd moves around Dale Jarrett for the 4th position.
A moment ago when Bobby Labonte spun, something happened. Wally Dallenbach and someone made contact up front. Dallenbach got his car sideways, and when Labonte backed off to avoid him, someone hit him in the rear end. That's why he spun.
So Bobby stays on the lead lap, but he is only about a straightaway from losing a lap. Now here's Terry Labonte to the inside of Robert Presley. That's Jeremy Mayfield in the 37 car with them. 16th, 17th, and 18th here.
Tell you what, Ned, the outside groove is working as well as I've ever seen it at Martinsville.
It's unusual, especially early in the race. Normally, after they've run a while, you see the second group come in a little bit, but you're right. Working good right now.
Still tap there from Bobby Hamilton, the 4th corner, but he didn't get Rusty loose enough to take the lead away. Now we ride on board with Mark Martin, who's in 3rd position, watching this tussle for the lead ahead of him between.
And Lake Speed is fun. The 30 car is fun.
Ricky Rudd almost involved, but he was not.
There's nothing rubbing. Go ahead, Lake Speed.
And still, yes, we now have a caution.
Anything rubbing. Take a look at it, guys, when it comes by.
They all stay on the lead lap.
Let's take a look at what happened up there in turn number 1, bringing out the first caution of the day.
Lake Speed does not realize that Michael Waltrip is on the outside, and they made contact. He was trying to go on the outside of Musgrave, and I tell you what, Lake Speed makes pretty good contact with the outside retaining wall.
And there's Johnny Benson spinning. Here it is from Michael Waltrip's car.
Wow.
So caution is out here at Martinsville with 11 laps completed. It's Rusty Wallace, then Hamilton, Martin, Shepherd, and Petty. Set to go back to green flag racing here at Martinsville in the Haynes 500. Pace car pulls off the track. Rusty Wallace leads him down the green waves.
Every car here in the lead lap, every car in single file around this racetrack. And Rusty Wallace is in the middle of the backstretch, and the last car just now crosses the start-finish line. So Lake Speed is 3/4 of a lap down.
Continues to put pressure on Rusty Wallace. And Jerry, what are they saying down there in the pit area?
Well, Robbie Loomis just told his driver, Bobby Hamilton, hey, Bobby, you're following one of the best to ever run this racetrack. And Rusty, don't wear yourself or the race car out early. Don't worry about leading. Just stay in line and follow him for a while. Now, whether or
There's only one Chevy in the top 10, and there he is, Jeff Gordon.
Currently in ninth spot.
John Kernan has an update on the 9 and 30 cars that were both involved in the first caution incident. John?
Well, Bob, Johnny Vincent came off pit road twice. He only got stopped once. They put right side tires, made a drag bar adjustment to loosen the car up. There was some damage on the left rear. The deck lid actually was lifted up just about a half of an inch, but they didn't get a chance to work on that. It came in again, and there was time to go back to green, so he wasn't able to complete the work. Lake Speed's crew did not get the opportunity to change tires because they were too busy working on the sheet metal. Vincent was trying to keep the sheet metal away from the tires. Jim Long says, his crew chief says, no severe damage to Speed, that they think they should be okay.
Okay, we'll watch for Lake to possibly move up through the traffic. We're watching Jimmy Spencer and Ricky Rudd as they contest the 27th position, I guess. Napa Field Summary will show you where your favorite driver was running last lap. Looking to the inside of Ricky Craven in the 41.
Looked like a little bit of a tap there. Ricky Rudd lost a good bit of time in between turns 1 and 2.
Bobby Labonte and the 46 car of Stacy Compton were involved in the first little incident in the backstretch that did not cause a caution. Bill Willard, what are they saying down there?
Well, crew chief Jimmy Makar left it up to Bobby Labonte as to whether or not they wanted to pit during that caution period. Bobby decided not to. Labonte had qualified 12. Now they're half a lap behind the race leader. Jimmy Makar has told his driver, I'm afraid you're going to have to be passively aggressive now. Then he told him, I really hate to say that. So Bobby Labonte is going to have to try and fight his way to the front. Stacy Compton has some sheet metal damage. Also some reports that he may be leaking fluid on the racetrack. He's dropping deeper in the field.
Bobby Labonte currently stands 30th on the standings.
But he was wise not to make a pit stop because he was running last before that little incident occurred, and he's in 30th position now, so he did gain 6 spots.
And Ricky Craven losing some ground in the 41 car. Rick Masters passed him. The 23 car, Jimmy Spencer's passed him, also Ricky Rudd.
And Tony Urban and Ken Schrader are having a battle now for the 11th position.
Ernie Urban started back in 18, so he is on the way forward.
Ernie won this race in 1993. It's Jeff Burton also coming up now to challenge Schrader on the inside. And Ken Schrader loses another spot. On board with Kenny now, looking ahead to Jeff Burton. Up front, it remains Rusty Wallace leading Bobby Hamilton.
I'm telling you, Bobby Hamilton, oh, there's a beer can on the racetrack. Or beverage can, I should say.
Hamilton is staying right with Rusty.
I'm telling you, he is racing today as Hamilton.
That's the interval now between second and third. There is Martin and Morgan Shepherd.
Jeff Gordon just moved past Vic Trickle, took over the 8th position.
Here is Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin racing side by side.
Spencer has been able to get by Sterling Marlin, has pulled out a few car lengths. Now Rudd is able to do the same.
He takes 26th position, moving Sterling back to 27th.
There's a little bit of contact between Bobby Hamilton and Rusty Wallace down in turns 1 and 2 that last lap. Hamilton wants that lead.
I believe he has a faster car, Benny, right now than Rusty has. If he can get out front, I believe he could pull away a little bit.
Presley and Dale Earnhardt are side by side. This is for 15th spot. Dale up high trying to get around Robert. Having a bit of difficulty. Now looks like he'll do so. Now he gets his spot. And Terry Labonte, of course, is right behind Presley. Back up front. About a car length now separating the two, but Hamilton looks to the outside. Tremendous pressure and tremendous racing, Dr. Punch.
Exactly, Bob. You know, Rusty Wallace decided to go with the same gear he's used to win with over the years, and now Hamilton tries to get along outside, tries to work the outside group. Rusty is running a 620 gear, 6.20. Bobby Hamilton's crew decided to go with the 633, which would turn more RPMs and get the car off the corner. So watch for Hamilton to try to get a nose underneath him and then use that gear to get some momentum.
Oh, he is just trying everything, Jerry. He's on the outside right now. He cannot make the pass up high. But you're right. He has a fast race car. He's going to try it again now down to the first and second turns. Cannot make the pass.
And you see how he moves over as he goes down the straightaway, trying to get that angle in the corner. As soon as Hamilton gets up where Rusty can't come up against the straightaway, then Hamilton will pass him. But right now, Bobby's not able to get it alongside enough right there that Rusty's able to come off the corner and let it drift up. Oh! Some contact that time. Now it's a personal thing with Hamilton.
That's right.
Now Rusty stays down this time, gets it through.
And that's going to really let Hamilton get in the corner.
He's going to take the lead here. I think Rusty may have said, go ahead.
That's a great pass.
So Bobby Hamilton takes the lead of the race. And here's what happened a lap or two ago.
Did you see the nose of that car dive as he stood on the brakes to keep getting the back of Rusty Wallace?
Jerry Punch.
Well, Vinny, it wasn't Rusty who said go ahead. It was Rusty's spotters, Don Miller and Roger Penske, who said, hey, Rusty, he's on the outside. Got to let it go. He's going to wreck both of you. So that was the call to let Rusty know that he had a car on the outside and had to back off when they were both going to be in the wall.
And now Hamilton begins to lap some of the slower cars. Stacy Compton goes a lap down. 36 laps completed at Martinsville. ESPN Speed World is live today at Martinsville, Virginia for the NASCAR Winston Cup Haynes 500. Being brought to you by Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. By Firestone, America's tire since 1900. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71 NASCAR.
Check it out.
Completed. Look at this. Morgan Shepherd goes to what? Third?
Goes to third spot by the 6 car. Mark Martin on the outside, just like Bobby Hamilton did it. This is Kyle Petty's car. We're looking at the front bumper of Kyle.
Kyle is running fifth.
Mississippi gains on the 6 cars. He goes in the corner.
And Jeff Gordon has caught that pack of cars and has passed John Andretti. So you see him there right behind Kyle Petty now. So Gordon gradually working his way up towards the front. And Bobby Hamilton has just checked out.
Jeff Gordon still the only Chevy in the top 10, but he's moved to 6. We've got a couple of Pontiacs in the top 5 and the rest of Fords. Stacy Compton, who was being lapped, the damage that car suffered in the incident down there in turn 1.
He got into Johnny Benson, I believe.
Now, Gordon making a pass on Kyle Petty as we watch this, how close he runs to the wall.
And oh, man.
There's a camera right beside the jack stop where the jack goes under the race car. And watch as he goes down the straightaway. Watch as the tire, the right front tire deflects going down in the corner. Watch as the sidewall flexes. As you come off the corner, we talk about camber. We see how much farther in the top of the tire is than the bottom of the tire. We also have a camera on the right. Oh, here we go. Morgan Shepherd, the Remington car on the outside of Rusty Wallace. This is for second spot.
Morgan Shepherd won his first NASCAR Winston Cup race here at the Martinsville Speedway. And he won some Busch races as well, so he has a lot of experience here.
Back in 1981, Jeff Gordon just passed Mark Martin to pick up that position, so Jeff goes to 4th. And while while we're watching all this action for second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on, Bobby Hamilton has checked out on the field.
Hey, Gordon looking the inside of Rusty Wallace, and Wallace realizes he's slower than these cars, gives him room, and Jeff Gordon will take over that spot. Puts him into third as soon as he passes him.
Not quite, BP. There, he did it. Rusty is reporting the car to be loose. He held the lead for the first few laps. Then Bobby Hamilton went around, and now Rusty is back to fourth spot because the car is reported to be loose.
One problem, one reason for the cars being loose today. Number one, it rained last night. All the rubbers rushed off the racetrack. Secondly, in that last hour of practice, happy hour yesterday afternoon, it was overcast and very, very cool. Today, very bright sunshine and warm.
As I look out over the field, Benny, I've been watching a number of them. There's a lot of drivers that are facing a loose condition out there. Ernie Irvan is one of them. Dale Jarrett is one of them. Bill Elliott.
We talked Ernie Irvan. We saw him pass Kenny Schrader and go on just a few laps ago. Now Schrader's doing the same thing to Ernie Irvan.
And Wally Dallenbach also trying to get around Ernie Irvan. Dale Jarrett also losing positions. He's back to ninth. What's the problem there, Bill?
Ned not only has the best stopwatch in NASCAR, he's got the best set of eyes, because Dale Jarrett has told his crew that his quality care Ford is just a little bit loose. That may be part of the reason he's dropped back to the fourth starting position. But Dale was very candid last night when I asked him how he's going to be successful here today. He wants to make a charge in the points, and to do that, he has to be a factor in the final 100 laps here today. He said he probably will not contend early in this race, but he does want to be around, have brakes, and be a good, strong car the last 100 laps and finish near or at the front of this field.
He ran very well in the spring race here, and there is his teammate Ernie Irvan trying to hold off Terry Labonte. Labonte trying that outside line. 13th and 14th here.
Yeah, Labonte just passed Wally Dallenbach on the outside just a couple of laps ago. Now he's trying to do the same thing. And there's Jeff Bodine, the QBC car, going by the Goodrich Chevy of Earnhardt. So Earnhardt now is sliding back.
He's back to 17th position. John Kernan has more.
Dale Earnhardt has radioed in and told David Smith, his crew chief, that the car is tight in the center of the turns, but when he gets on the gas to leave the turn to exit, the car to back in wants to swing out, so it's loose. So they're having a definite handling problem for the Earnhardt crew. They're hoping to get a caution, get that first pit stop, make some adjustments, and fix the handling on the car.
And Darrell Waltrip just blew up down the backstretch of the Western Auto Chevrolet. There we see some heavy smoke out of the back of his car.
Well, that's too bad. Darrell was running in the 25th position.
Terry Labonte. I'm sorry, Bob.
Passing the 28 car.
And what John's going to talk about just a moment ago, Earnhardt getting loose when he gets back on the gasoline, that I think is attributed to the warm, bright sunshine today. And the fact they did all the practicing in a cloudy, cool environment.
And that's causing them to have to use more brakes than they'd like to at this point of the race, Benny.
Schrader and Labonte are both saying that there is oil on the racetrack. Could be from Darrell Waltrip, who we saw with smoke at the back of his car just a few minutes ago. Labonte to the inside of Schrader and passing him for 12th position. John, what's the story on Darrell Waltrip?
I just talked to Jeff Hammond, and Jeff says power steering broke. The power steering broke. So if they're reporting fluid out there, maybe it could have come from the power steering. Maybe a line has come off and sprayed some power steering fluid out on the racetrack.
We can still see some smoke coming from the back end of that race car. That's
but not nearly as much as when he first exploded the power steering. I thought it was an engine.
Darrell has gone a lap down now.
Hey guys, what would you do? Do you get us some lines over here right quick? Get us some lay down.
Bobby Hamilton just lapped Hut Strickland in car number 8 for 30th position. 29 cars remaining on the lead lap after 63 of the 500 laps. Hamilton leads over Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, Rusty Wallace, and Mark Martin. We'll be right back.
This track they're on, it's always good.
Morgan Shepherd is in 3rd position, putting a lap on Johnny Benson in car number 30.
And you see the damage on the 30 car that was caused by the 46 car. You see the damage on his. There's our 4th place car, Rusty Wallace. He's hanging on to 4th.
Kyle Petty is fifth. Right behind Rusty.
There's Kyle. Having a good run this afternoon so far in the Coors Silver Bullet.
And John Andretti back in sixth spot. This is looking at Rusty Wallace and Kyle Petty's Coors Light car.
There's Kyle.
There's John Andretti.
And a guy that's coming up through here is Terry Labonte in the car number 5. Passes Bill Elliott. Takes over the 10th position. And we understand that maybe Terry has a problem with his Chevrolet. Maybe not running on the racetrack. But the clutch arm, we are told, has come loose.
I was told Bill Weber reported on the commercial break that a clutch rod had fallen off that depresses the clutch when they make a pit stop. So, and Bill Weber, do you have any more on Labonte's problems?
I'm with Gary Dehart. Your clutch rod fell off, Gary. What's it going to do to you? Can you fix it?
Well, we're going to try to wait to the next caution, then we're going to try to fix it. We got the parts to fix it. I don't even know why it come out. It's almost a bulletproof thing, but anything can happen, I guess. We'll get it fixed in a little bit.
Okay, that's Gary Dehart. That's going to be a problem for him, Benny, especially if they have to get out of the pit stop on the green flag conditions, because it's not going to be very easy for Terry to work that thing.
Well, see, that's exactly right. Gary Dehart said we'll fix it on the next caution flag. But if he has to make a green flag pit stop before that caution flag period, man, that could be a problem.
This is the foot cam for Rusty Wallace, and we'll see how he uses the brakes, when he uses the brakes. He's a left foot braker, huh?
There we see Rusty Wallace down the straightaway. He's on the brakes hard. Now he trail brakes a little bit into the corner. Now off the brakes, takes that foot off the brake and moves it over to the, it looks like he's resting it on the clutch pedal. But be sure and take that foot off the brake pedal. Look at that rotor and how hot it stays all the way around the racetrack. Down the straightaway, we see it does cool off a little bit. It's essential that to get the air from the nose of these cars in to cool off those rotors.
Wow, you can almost see the flame coming from that thing.
They get very, very hot.
And we see just how hot it is. The one reason we can't see right around here is part of the duct system that they keep forces the air on the brake rotor. That's why we can't see the rotor all the way around. Now we see it's down the straightaway because the rotor is cool. Now watch as it heats up as he applies the brake and sparks flying off that carbon metallic brake pad. And there we see Rusty as he closes up behind, it's like Lake Speed. No, that's Bobby Hillen. We talk about brakes, folks. It is the most essential part of the car here at Martinsville. And Martin, we've got a camera back at the rear. This is the gear. We talk about Jerry Plush talked about a 620. That's the gear. This little piece here is an oil cooler pump. Pumps the oil from the gear up into a radiator in the back of the car. This is a reservoir for the engine oil. The oil is pumped from the engine all the way back to this reservoir. Here's this piece is the drive shaft. Hooks the transmission to the gear. Now, as we pan this camera across, there you see the brake. This is the brake duct going back to the rear of the car that hangs off the rear trailing arm. This is the trailing arm that goes back and hooks up by the transmission. Right rear spring, and we'll see when Martin goes in the corner how this spring, he's on the straightaway now, and watch he goes in the corner how this spring compresses as it goes up. And back here is the brake assembly on the right rear of the car. Right up here, folks, you see this little black thing? That's nothing but a chain. It's like a cow chain that you would use to tie a cow up. What that does is when they jack the car up on a pit stop, this chain pulls that right rear tire off the ground. Otherwise, they'd have to depend on the shot being fully extended to pull that tire off the ground. It would take 2 or 3 more pumps on the jack, so they use the chain to jerk that right rear off the ground. Now here we see the right front of Michael Waltrip's car. I talked about camera just a moment ago. As he goes down the straightaway, you see here's and if you draw a straight line, look at the difference between the bottom of the tire and the top of the tire. That is what we're talking about by camber. Now the tire is perfectly straight. When it goes in the corner, watch how this tire just disappears. Watch as it disappear behind the sheet metal. That is sidewall deflection.
Second place car, next car back.
The camera, we'll pan the camera around and look from the back of Michael Waltrip's car as he comes off the corner and up against the wall.
On the inside.
This is the first time we've been able to use this camera. NASCAR worked with our folks at BST and said, okay, guys, put the camera there as long as it's not going to solve a problem for someone else.
Kyle Petty all over Rusty Wallace for 4th position. Good job, BP. You're great at those circles. Tell you.
An artist I'm not, folks.
While you were doing that, Michael went a lap down in the Citgo Ford number 21. He is running in the 22nd position. And here's Kyle Petty all over Rusty Wallace.
He sure is. Now he's down to the inside. A little contact there, maybe.
Wallace is 4th. Kyle Petty is 5th. Remember, Wallace fighting a loose condition on his Ford.
I believe Kyle is going to get him this time. He's got his car to the inside of Rusty now. They race down the backstretch into turn number 3, still side by side. But they come out of the corner, and at least at the line, they're almost dead even.
And Kyle Petty will have the spot as they come off second corner. Now watch this, folks. There we see Kyle Petty's got the spot. Check this out. Going down in turn 1, there's the leader. He's lapping Robert Preston. And look who's right in front of Bobby Hamilton. And look who's right behind him.
Yeah, Jim Gordon has caught him. Remember, it was 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds a while ago. Now he is right with him.
Dale Earnhardt about to go a lap down here in the 18th position. Boy, Hamilton just making a shambles of the field here in this first green period, not yet 100 laps old. And indeed, Hamilton puts a lap on Dale Earnhardt. Gordon is 2nd, then Shepard, Petty, and Wallace. 91 of 500 laps completed at Martinsville. Live at Martinsville, Rusty Wallace is running in 5th position. Here are 1st and 2nd, Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon, as they put a lap on Ernie Irvan, and now putting another lap on the 87 car of Joe Nemechek.
And Ernie Irvan is running in 16th position. His car reported very, very loose.
This is the first time that Bobby Hamilton has ever led here at Martinsville, and this is his 10th event. Now get this for an amazing statistic on Jeff Gordon. In the races that he has finished this year, he has finished no lower than 7th. Now he has 5 DNFs, but when he is running at the end of the race, his worst finish is his 7th place. Wow. That's how championships are won.
And there we see the 33 and the 15. That's for position, back for 17th spot. Also the 81 in that battle. That's the 3 cars racing for 17th, 18th, and 19th. So with Dolan back in 19th. The 81 of Kenny Wallace in 18th, and Robert Presley in 17th.
20% of the race is finished already. 102 laps completed. And look at this. 3rd place in points. Dale Jarrett goes a lap down in 15th position.
Ricky Rudd is up against the wall. I think he blew a tire, but no caution.
Rudd is going to dip down into the pit area in the backstretch, and it looks like the right front may be flat.
Probably the brakes heated up and melted something in the tire.
No caution.
Yeah, that's one problem that you have. We saw that rotor on Rusty Wallace's car. That's extreme heat. That's something like 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's real close to that tire that Ned was talking about. Sometimes it simply melts the rubber tire. Evidently, Jeff Gordon has some trouble getting around Dale Jarrett because Hamilton is able to put 15, 20 car lengths on him.
Getting close close to scheduled pit stops here with 105 laps completed. So we're going to take another commercial break so that we can be back to show you what happens where the race is often won or lost in the pit area. We'll be back in just a moment. Thank you, Rich, keeping us up to date on everything else that's going on in the world of sports, including motorsports, with that great Formula One win this morning by Jacques Villeneuve. Jeff Gordon has a piece of tape or paper on the front of that car.
This paper, Bob, that's either come out of the grandstands or something that's not supposed to be there. Certainly it'll shut some air off going into the radiator. I don't believe that's in front of the ducts, the brake ducts of any, is it?
Good point, Nick. No, it's not. And I tell you what, if it had been in front of the brake ducts, that would have been a serious problem. The brake duct is run under Chevrolet, or the Monte Carlo, I guess, under the O.
Ricky Rudd lost 3 laps when he blew a tire and came in for a stop. John Kernan right there.
This is the tire that came off of Ricky Rudd's car. We're getting a temperature reading right now of just how hot the wheel is. Looks like 335 degrees. But this is the bead that makes the seal against the wheel. Rudd had been blowing his brake rotors for about the last 40 laps. It heated up. It melted the bead. The air began to seep out. And then boom, you have a tire failure. 335 degrees on the wheel, and this thing's been sitting here for about 5 minutes. It was probably a lot hotter than that, but you can just see the tire is still smoldering down here. Melted the bead.
And Dale Earnhardt's crew puts reflective tape on that to prevent that from happening.
Exactly. One of the Alcon engineers, that's one of the brake manufacturers, yesterday in the happy hour was measured temperature on the brake rotors, and they were 500 degrees after the car coasted in down pit road. They were still 500 degrees.
Bill Elliott was the first of those in the lead lap to make a pit stop. Bill was running in the 13th position. He brought his McDonald's Ford in for a change of right side tires and a tank of fuel. So we'll see others coming in before too long.
And Mark Martin is just about to go a lap down in 12th position. A battle back here involving Robert Presley and Ernie Irvan. That would be for the 15th position. And there Mark Martin does go a lap down in 12th.
I mean, Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon is unbelievable.
Jeff Burton is in the pits. Let's go to the pits.
4 tires and fuel, 119 laps on the board. They've got the wedge wrench in the left side. They will make a chassis adjustment. They had a piece of paper on the grill. The temperature was going up. Then the paper flew off the grill. They make the wedge adjustment. Burton's back on his way. He's having another good run.
And we got a crash down in turn 1. Dave Marcus and Stacy Compton.
Oh, man, what a tough break for Jeff Burton.
Bill Elliott. Ricky Rudd had made it when his tire went down, so all of them had made green flag pit stops, and Mark Martin trying to get his lap back, but he's not going to be able to do it.
Well, the caution comes at an ideal time because a lot of drivers were just about to make their first regularly scheduled stop and now allowed to do them under caution. Here's what happened.
That's lake speed that makes contact with Dave Marcus going down in the corner, and Stacy Compton simply stopped, did not hit anything.
Yeah, he just went high to avoid getting hit.
Now, Terry Labonte is not going to have to make a pit stop, without the aid of the clutch. Let's see if he's able to fix it under the caution flag condition.
And he had really been coming back up through the field. He had moved all the way up to 6th place. Labonte had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Here they come down pit road. Bobby Hamilton followed closely by Jeff Gordon. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon pitting nose to tail at the far end of pit road. It's the break for Hamilton. They were going to make their scheduled pit stop in about 4 laps. Gordon would have come in about 7 laps. Right side tires on the Hamilton car. Robbie Loomis said, we're not going to change anything. No air pressure, no wedge, no nothing. 4 tires and fuel, and we're gone. Likewise, now the windshield being cleaned on Jeff Gordon's car. Safe plan, no changes. Left side tires on the Hamilton car. Gordon already down the way. The jack still up on Bobby Hamilton. They're still waiting. Let's go to you, Bill Weber.
4 tires for Terry Labonte, but more importantly, 1 crewman diving in the passenger side window. They had the clutch rod assembly ready for when Terry came in. They're going to have to push him off pit road. He's going to try and beat the pace car, but he probably won't make it. John Kernan.
Jeff Odine's crew in the middle of a 4-tire change already around on the left side as everybody who's pitted on the front stretch are making their way back. There goes Rusty Wallace, Kyle Petty, lug nuts getting tightened on Jeff Odine. They're waiting. A little bit of a problem on the left front. He says, yeah, it's okay. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Dale Jarrett has 2 fresh right side tires and a new drink. They're putting on the left side rubber. The fuel is in. Dale Jarrett waiting. They clean the grill. They drop the car. He takes off, goes around Dick Trickle, returns to the track, beats Schrader out of the pits. John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt's crew goes to work. The wrench is in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. Raise the track bar in case that's what they did just now. They swing around to the left side. These other guys come around and go past the backstretch. Left side tires going on. They have made the chassis adjustment. There they go. Earnhardt guns the engine. He's waiting. Let's go to Terry Labonte's pit.
Terry Labonte sits in his Chevrolet. Gary Dehart holding the legs of one crewman as he goes down to the clutch to try and repair the assembly. Another crewman through the passenger side window. They've had several guys working to build this apparatus to see if they could get it back in. Gary Dehart told Terry, be patient. We can fix it, but it will probably take 2 stops. They desperately needed a caution. Now they're trying to yank the crewman out of there. They don't want to lose another lap. Terry sits in the car. They're trying to snap up the window. Now they're going to have to push the car away. Terry's got Robert Presley on his wing. Labonte rolls down pit road. This time he beats the pace car out.
Wow. Folks, I followed Terry Labonte as he left the pit road, and it was something to behold. Number one, he gets lapped. There he comes off pit road, so the pace car lapped him. The official, NASCAR official, has the stop sign, but he can't stop because he doesn't have a clutch. He slows down to let him know, hey, look, I understand, but now it's okay. I'll go back around. He gets coming off. He's going to go back on the racetrack, right? He can't because all the cars are now pitting. But he has to keep the car rolling. He doesn't have a clutch. He goes down the backstretch pit area. He finally comes around, gets in the pit, and now he's back in the pit, Bill.
And again, they're going to dive down to where that clutch is to try and hook up that clutch rod assembly. They did tell Terry Labonte and his crew too fast down pit road last time he left, so he will have to go to the tail end of the longest line, trying to snap the window net up. Terry's going to try and move the pace car again. He's on his way. The race is on, Bob.
And he's going to make it, but
he was too
fast.
I want to go to the back end of the second lap, the longest line twice.
All this under caution here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. 126 laps completed in the Haynes 500. Green flag is back out. Bobby Hamilton has taken over the lead from Jeff Gordon. Jeff was trying to get around Jeff Burton and put him another lap down, and didn't work. So Bobby Hamilton sneaked underneath in the 4th turn and now has the lead once again with Morgan Shepherd, Rusty Wallace, and Kyle Petty completing the top 5.
Only 9 cars on the lead lap. Jeff Bodine is in 6th place. Rick Mast 7th. John Andretti is 8th, and Dick Trickle 9th.
And again, Terry Labonte has clutch problems, has dropped back to 24th position and is a lap down.
But I tell you what, my hat is off to Gary Dehart and that entire crew for doing what they did and just losing 1 lap.
And we're going to show you how the lead change happened when Bobby went to the inside of Jeff.
Ever see Gordon on the outside of Jeff Burton, and here comes Hamilton, and away he goes.
How Bobby went into the lead. Now Jeff Burton is 2 laps down because he had just made a pit stop when the caution came out.
Well, he is back now just 1 lap down. He's in front of Bobby Hamilton, so if the caution should come out, he'd get to go all the way around. So technically he is 1 lap down. Some tight racing off of turn 4. Rick Mast runs up and gives a little bit of tap to Dale Jarrett, and there they go 3 abreast. They get them all squared away, but that's short track racing.
Jarrett running in 11th position at the moment. There's Rick Mast running right behind the Budweiser car driven by Ken Schrader.
And Rick Mast is one of those drivers on the lead lap, being shown in 7th position. That is some beating and banging going on there. All of those cars excepting Andretti in the 98, the lap down. And here's Kyle Petty trying to take a position.
Yeah, change of position here. Battle for 4th. Kyle Petty to the inside of Rusty. And Rusty doesn't want to give it up.
Mark Martin, there we see the camera on board with Kyle Petty. Mark Martin passed Rusty Wallace just a moment ago. Mark is a lap down, but Bill Elliott's going to pull up on the outside of Rusty. So obviously Rusty has not fixed his problems, his handling problems that he had at the beginning of the race.
Elliott 2 laps down. The 7th car of Jeff Bodine is on the lead lap in 6th position.
Now that's the guy that gets around this racetrack is Jeff Bodine. Riding alongside Michael Waltrip. That's Earnhardt. Let's see how close they get together in the corner. When it goes black, folks, that means they're close.
Too close.
That's 13th to 14th. They're each a lap down.
They must be 4 or 5 feet apart there.
Yeah, they're way far apart there. Close enough, you can see the Citgo reflecting in that black paint on the 3 car.
Now that's pretty close.
Yeah, it is.
I think Dale would be better off to back off and get behind him. That's Michael Spotter telling him he's coming back outside. Now Michael has him cleared coming off from turn 4. They can race faster running single file than they can side by side.
Again, this is the battle for 14th position between Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt. Bobby Labonte is right there also. He's 16th. Coming up, a Napa field summary. The numbers in parentheses indicate the starting position. Hamilton started first, is in the lead right now. 9 cars are on the lead lap.
Boy, that first long green flag run with a good car like Bobby Hamilton has here today put a lot of drivers a lap down.
We're going to hold our camera and let all the field go by so you can check out if your favorite driver is still running, and you can see on the field summary where he is running.
And we're going to show you a battle shaping up for 5th place here in just a moment. There it is. Rusty Wallace has it, and Jeff Bodine has moved up on him.
Jeff Bodine has won 4 times at this racetrack, 2 spring events and 2 races here in the fall. Bill has an update on the work done on Labonte's car. Bill?
Okay, I told you they had a clutch rod assembly ready to put in the car. This is the one they had ready, but they didn't use it. The problem with Terry's car is that this rod here popped out at this ball joint in here. So what they did is they dove into the car, used a spring clamp to shove this back into place and lock it down, and then hold the clutch rod in place. They've told Terry, kind of keep your foot on the clutch. So far, so good. Let me tell you something. This team is in a race for the points championship. They were crushed when Labonte called in on the radio and told them about the problem. But they are thrilled with what they have pulled off. And jobs like that not only lead to winning races, but help you win championships.
Labonte 76 points behind going into this race. Could that be a permanent fix, Benny?
Oh, yeah, I think the problem is fixed now. But, you know, the master cylinders on these cars that's very similar. That was a hydraulic slave cylinder we saw, and the master cylinder is very rusty. What's wrong with Rusty Wallace?
Well, he's slowing down big time here on the main straightaway. Everybody going around him. Rusty Wallace breaks stride on the 147th lap.
He's trying to get down to the inside so he can get in the pits. He was stuck up on the outside there for a little bit. And Jerry, what's the problem?
Robin Timmer just looked at me and said it blew up. Rusty said it blew up, so they're going to bring it behind the wall. He just comes down pit road first, and there's Robin talking to his driver. He said all Rusty said was it blew up. So the car is not running and the engine is shut off. They will raise the hood, and what a tough break for Rusty Wallace, who had won 5 in the last 7 events here at Martinsville Speedway. And now the crew scrambling beneath the hood trying to see what the problem may have been. And they say, I hear on the radio they're saying burned up. What they're saying to each other is look underneath the front of the car. So apparently, now Robin says pull it behind the wall. Apparently, the day could be done for Rusty.
Wow. A 6-time winner here at Martinsville, and a big also move in the points here. Rusty Wallace was 7th in the points going into this race, tied with Ken Schrader. So Rusty is going to lose some valuable points here as the car goes behind the wall. Jerry is with Robin.
They had taken the car behind the wall, and Robin talking to Rusty as he talking back. Robin, what happened to the car?
Water pump. Same thing. That's about the second or third one this year. I don't know. We finished Richmond with the motor blowed up, and same problem. I don't know what's going on.
It burned up pretty bad. Okay, we'll let Robin go on back and talk to his driver. You can see how dejected this team is. They wanted this one so badly. Roger Penske, one of their owners here, up spotting for the team, and Rusty, all he said was, hey, it's hot, it's quit, and now it apparently is burned up.
So Rusty Wallace is out of the race at the moment, climbing out of the race car. We'll be back with more of the Hanes 500 in just a moment. High-speed ballet of NASCAR Winston Cup racing, and we are live at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, and one driver who is not dancing any kind of dance at the moment is Rusty Wallace. Here's Jerry Punch.
Rusty, what a tough break. We talked to Robin a moment ago, and Robin said it was the water pump. I mean, the car looked awfully good early on.
Well, it was pretty good early on. I started off loose. It was running real loose, and all of a sudden we came in and we put the wedge in, dropped some air pressure on, everything got a lot better. But, man, I tell you, we lost the water pump. I can't believe that's the second time that's happened now.
Any indication at all that it was going to go as far as a problem with the temperature?
No, not really any indication whatsoever. I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was running okay, and all of a sudden I looked down a gauge, and all the gauges were buried. It must have happened just immediately. Everything started tightening up on, and that was it.
Well, a tough break for Rusty Wallace. What it's hard to see out of it. The 33 car, Robert Presley, is spun, and that will bring the caution flag out once again, Bob.
Yes, indeed. Third caution of the day as Robert Presley spins, coming off of corner number 2, and the pace is reduced once again. Caution coming on lap 165. Pace car picks up the field. We'll take a break. Back with more live coverage of the Hanes 500 in just a moment from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. It's the Hanes 500 live on ESPN Speed World from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. There's Robert Presley going back out on the racetrack. He's the cause of this third caution, spinning coming off of corner number 2. Now, you know, Hurricane Fran moved through North Carolina and other areas recently. There was a lot of publicity about that, but the publicity is stopped, yet things are very bad in some parts of North Carolina in terms of supplies needed. And you can call 1-888. This is a toll-free call, by the way, 888-786-7601. They need canned foods and soups and meats and vegetables and fruits and pop-top cans, anything you can donate to the Hurricane Fran relief effort. Again, the number, 888-786-7601.
After the hurricane in eastern North Carolina, the hurricane left, and then it started raining. So not only did they have all the rain with the hurricane, but then a lot of rain afterwards. So Kinston, Greenville, Goldsboro, tremendous amount of water down. A lot of folks, a lot of people out of their homes.
Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, Kyle Petty, and Jeff Bodine are the top 5 after 168 laps. Back under green, Bobby Hamilton leading here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Jeff Gordon running second, then Morgan Shepherd, Richard Petty, Kyle Petty, and Jeff Bodine.
The manufacturer distribution, we got a Pontiac, a Chevrolet, Ford, Pontiac, Ford, Pontiac, and a couple Fords. So 3 Pontiacs in the top 10.
How about that? Pontiac doing well this afternoon.
And that is the lead Pontiac right there, the 43 STP Pontiac. He has been so strong.
Owned by Richard Petty. Here's another guy that's having a good run, Morgan Shepherd in the Remington Arms Ford.
Morgan has been up there in the top 5 the whole afternoon. Right there solid in 3rd.
And looking for a ride in 1997. This is something good to put on the resume, huh, Ned?
Yes, sir. Yeah, but it was reported while that Morgan was going to do his own team, and then he said he ran out of time as far as the sponsor was concerned, so he is looking for a ride.
This is a battle here between Bodine and Dick Trickle. Now, Trickle made a pit stop during that most recent caution period, one of only just a couple that did, and so he's got fresher tires, and it looks like he may be taking the spot away from Jeff Bodine. That would be 5th.
And that 98 car right behind him with John Andretti also made a pit stop, and so did Rick Mast. Those were the 3 cars on the lead lap that did make a pit stop during this last caution.
There's Terry Labonte. Now, he is a lap down in 11th position, but don't count him out of things just yet, because since they got that problem fixed, he's been fast.
Yes, he has. He was back in about 26th position after the last restart, and now he has worked his way up to the 11th position.
Jeff Gordon getting a little racy, fellas. These guys all getting racy back there.
Just smooth. Just go down. Nice and smooth.
There is Rick Mast, the 8th position right now, the final car on the lead lap.
Ooh, about to get squeezed into the wall there.
Man, look, the nose of that car dropped when he went in the corner.
Use those brakes, didn't he? Of course, he has to at a time like this. But he did come in, put fresh tires on that Hooters Pontiac.
Started 29th. On the 97th lap, he was 13th, and now moves to 8th position. That was after the last restart.
You know, he had one of the fastest cars in practice on Friday afternoon. I was very surprised in qualifying when he qualified so poorly.
Jimmy Spencer and Sterling Marlin got together off of turn 4, got crossways, and now Jeff Burton and Jimmy Spencer gets together off turn 2. I don't think all that was Jimmy Spencer's fault, but it started back in turn 4 when the 4 car and the 23 made contact.
High.
Here it is, Ned.
All right, we'll take a look. We see that Sterling Marlin's on the outside of Dale Earnhardt. He slips up a little bit, and Spencer does come up and tap the 4 car, and the 99 car gets on the inside of him. Now we'll follow him on down into turn 1. 99 makes the pass, but he goes in there too hard, gets crossways, and just all kind of beating and banging going on. That's what we're accustomed to here at the Martinsville Speedway.
That's right. Nothing out of the ordinary for Martinsville. Jimmy Spencer, 24th, a lap down. What did he get fined? $10,000 for his little incident last week? $10,000. Wow. Jeff Gordon continuing to put the heat on Bobby Hamilton, but Hamilton has certainly shown his superiority here. In the first 182 laps, he's led 141 of them.
I think that Jeff Gordon would like to lead this race. I think that he goes up every once in a while and he tests Bobby Hamilton. If it's easy, he will pass Bobby Hamilton. But if it becomes a problem, then he's content to sit back and ride and be there for that last 100 laps.
There is his teammate, Terry Labonte, wants to get back on the lead lap. He's running in 11th position.
And he's passing cars that stop, change tires, and he did not stop and change tires. So obviously the Kellogg's car is running very well.
It's a good race car. He's very fast. Has been all day. Lost that lap in the pits. Working on the clutch.
Only 3 drivers have led this race. Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, who is the only car out of the race at the moment, and of course Jeff Gordon. So those 3 have picked up the 5 bonus points. We're thinking that the 98 car is the fastest car on the track at the moment.
Well, he's pretty fast. You remember a while back that when Jeff Bodine was passing, let's see, who was he passing for position? And the 98 car was behind Jeff. Well, the 98 car of Andretti has passed Jeff Bodine and has driven away from him.
But it looks to me like the 5 car of Terry Labonte might be gaining on the 98 of Andretti. So, and as Ernie Irvin goes up the hill, Andretti gets under him and will go by him.
And before we had the caution period, another car that was as fast as any out there, in fact, we had clocked him about a mile an hour faster than the leader Bobby Hamilton, was the 99 car of Jeff Burton.
And he's being shown a lap down right now, but he had gotten back in front of the leaders, not the last restart, the one before that, and had pulled away from them. Bill Weber?
Well, Ned, they talked about that pit stop, and after Jeff went back out and the caution came out, Jeff said to Buddy Parrott, his crew chief, I thought about saying maybe we should stay out, and Buddy came back to him and said, no, it's my fault, I made a mistake, but we'll get it back. Then during the last caution period, they were talking about pitting. Jeff saw that the back pits were closed, and when Buddy told him to pit on the front stretch, Jeff said, I can't, the pits were still closed. But he mistook the back stretch pit flag for the front stretch pit flag, and then pitted one lap later than he had to. He's got a little damage on the left rear of his car, but Buddy says it's okay, they're going to work things out.
Here's a good battle. 3 cars here. Mast, Bodine, and Jeremy Mayfield battle for position. Another report from John Kernan.
We were talking about how Rick Mast was one of the fastest cars on Friday. He said during qualifying the car got really, really loose on him. But yesterday in happy hour, the last hour of practice, he did something that probably made all the difference in the world in the way the car is running today. And we see that Stacy Compton going behind the wall now. Now back to Rick Mast's story. For the first time, they're trying out Penske shocks here. After they put those shocks on Rick's car, he said, man, you will not believe the bite this car gets off of the corner. So Rick is having a good time out there. They've only made a couple of minor chassis adjustments. He was a little bit tight early on.
In 7th position is Rick Mast, and we just saw Dick Trickle take 4th spot from Kyle Petty.
He's one of those cars that stopped and changed tires, and it's obviously helping him out.
Real smooth, a decent lap. A little bit off what you're running, but real decent.
I think that's Trickle's spotter.
Telling him to be smooth, be smooth.
Now, I mean, how can that guy be as old as Dick Trickle? How can he know more than Dick Trickle? He's as old as I am. He knows everything.
10's quicker right there. 10's quicker. You're back down in there.
And all of a sudden, Jeff Bodine here has lost a couple of spots. Now, this isn't for position because Mayfield is in 12th position, not on the same lap as Jeff Bodine, but Jeff got a little bit of a tap from him, and Jeremy went inside.
Mayfield is in 12th position, 1 lap down.
Did you just feel something, Benny?
No.
The autumnal equinox just happened. How about that?
What are you talking about?
Better known to you as fall. Fall just arrived.
Oh, fall of the year.
Oh, yeah.
At 2 o'clock Eastern time, it is about a minute after 2. Fall is here, the autumn of the year. And we understand that Stacy Compton is out of the race because of what else?
Brakes.
We'll be back to talk to him after the break. Stacy Compton, the second car to go behind the wall. We'll take a break and be back with more from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where Bobby Hamilton now leads. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where the Hayes 500 is 202 laps old, and Bobby Hamilton is the leader. And look at these drivers that are looking for their first NASCAR Winston Cup victory, and they have gone 100 or more races without one. Those yellow bullets that you see on the right there, well, they indicate drivers that are currently in the top 10. Hamilton, of course, is the leader. Rick Mast is running in 7th position, and Dick Trickle is 3rd. So we could have a first-time winner here this afternoon if things continue the way they are right now. And there is reported smoke from the 99.
Yeah, that left rear tire might be rubbing the quarter panel. I see some damage to that left rear.
That was probably when he and Spencer got together going down into turn 1 a little while ago.
I would expect it was, Ned.
Jeff Burton continues to run in 15th position, 1 lap down. John Kernan now can talk to Stacy Compton. John?
His crew is working on the car. Stacy behind the wall. What's wrong?
Well, I hate it, John. We had a pretty good car. I think the driver gave the crew a little misinformation on the setup. We missed the setup a little bit, but we're getting better the whole time. I hated the first union, first race on the car. Looks like we got some transmission problems. We can't figure out what's wrong. It may have something internal in the transmission, but these guys will get it back together. We'll try to get back out there for a few more laps and try to get some more exposure for first union.
Well, originally, one of the crewmen had told me that it was a brake problem, but hey, you got to give these guys a call just for being here. A week and a half ago in a test here at the Martinsville Speedway. Track still a little damp. Stacy went out with his car, which he qualified ninth with in the spring here at Martinsville, and he smacked the wall, and they bent the rear end. They fixed it and got it here in a week and a half. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, I went down to the 99 pit and I talked to their crew, and they think that smoke is tire smoke. But Robert Presley radioed his crew to go tell the 99 crew that the 99 car is definitely leaking oil.
Okay.
Now check this out. There is Terry Labonte in the 5 car. The Kellogg's car has run the leaders of the race down. He's a lap down. But folks, he has passed cars and he has run the leaders down. He is really, really quick.
No question but what he's the fastest car on the racetrack.
A man on a mission. He needs to get back on the lead lap and get himself back in contention of this race. Clutch problems have put him a lap down. But the problems have been solved, at least for the moment. And Labonte right now in backup second place, Jeff Gordon.
You saw the cars that Dave Martin's on the outside of Terry Labonte.
Still unable to get that lap back and get past Jeff Gordon. Now let's take a look and see if we can determine whether it's oil or whether it's a tire or what is causing the smoke.
Can't see. Oh, I see some fire. Yeah.
Up there in that left front. And wonder, Benny, could that be brake fluid maybe boiling over? That brake fluid gets awfully hot. Is it still
It could be brake fluid. I would guess it's an oil leak getting down on the exhaust system and catching on fire. Something I think is hitting the exhaust system and causing the fire. But you're right, Dave. It could be brake fluid. Wow.
Don't seem to be affecting him as far as running is concerned. He just passed Ken Schrader, took over the 13th position.
Yep. 57 field summary. Here are the 8 cars on the lead lap.
Back to the leaders here, and Terry Labonte now trying to pass his teammate to get back in the lead. He's got to pass Hamilton, though, to get back in the lead lap, but Jeff Gordon doesn't fight him, lets him go on by. He knows what the situation is, and he knows that Terry's come from far back.
I think that's right. He knows exactly how fast Labonte is, and he did not fight him. Although I think that he'll have more problems passing the 43 car. Mark Martin going by Ernie Irvin.
That's for 11th position.
They traded that position a while back. Now Mark takes it back. Both of those cars 1 lap down.
7 cars on the lead lap in 8th position.
A moment ago coming off turn 2. We'll see him as they go down in turn 1. That's Jeremy Mayfield on the outside, and now they go in the corner, make contact, and Ernie sideways. Mark backs off, lets him get it under control. He does, and then goes ahead and passes him.
Here's Terry Labonte, fellas, coming up on the outside, but Joe Nemechek's going to be up there, and Bobby Hamilton's going to be able to pass him on the inside. Nemechek gets on out of the way, but it foiled that pass right at the moment.
Looked like Terry had a good run, but had to get off the accelerator because of Nemechek. Now let's see if he takes another run at him.
Right on the outside, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bold. But we've seen some passing on the outside here today, but it didn't work for Terry that time.
At the moment is Rusty Wallace, and the last short track DNF for Wallace was in the spring of '92 here in Martinsville.
Wow. And here's Kyle Petty. He got a camera right in the nose of his Pontiac. Tries to get alongside Morgan Shepherd. That's a battle for the 4th spot. Need some of that fishing line, that strand line, hook onto the 75 car.
That's right. Reel him in. Kyle Petty tries to reel in Morgan Shepherd. We're going to take a break where Bobby Hamilton continues to lead over Jeff Gordon and Dick Trickle and Morgan Shepherd and Kyle Petty with 221 laps completed. Jeff Gordon has taken over the lead from Bobby Hamilton here in Martinsville, and Terry Labonte has gotten back on the lead lap. And here's how it all occurred.
There we see Jeff Gordon on the outside of Hamilton. Terry Labonte's already gotten by, and there's Ricky Craven, the Kodiak car. And Jeff Gordon uses the 41 as a pick, takes the lead back.
But Bobby Labonte has just taken the lead back from Jeff Gordon. Yeah, Hamilton did, and that was because of the pick thrown by Jimmy Spencer.
What happened? I missed that. I was watching the replay.
Exactly the same thing that Craven did, but again, these slower drivers are supposed to be down on the inside, and that's where Spencer was, but look what happened.
Ah, we got it. There's Spencer going to dive to the inside. Jeff Gordon's going to go to the inside, but so does Spencer. And Hamilton goes by on the outside. Thank you guys, the truck, for having that, because I missed it.
How about that? Look at this. Kyle Petty did reel in fact, landed, if you will. Great minds work together there, Benny.
Yes.
Morgan Shepherd. So Kyle Petty up to 4th place.
And here comes John Andretti in the RCA car. That's a battle for position. Andretti's in 6th place, trying to take away the field from Shepherd.
Boy, John Andretti looking good here this afternoon to the inside. Now we're going to time the interval between the leader, Bobby Hamilton, and now 9th
Still on the outside.
Terry Labonte. It's 19.78 seconds at the moment.
That was Dennis Beaver, the spotter for John Andretti, the 98.
Clear.
Telling him that the 77 was outside, then he told me clear.
Rick Mast, who is in 7th position. Joe Nemechek is 5 laps down in 33rd position. A lot of speculation as to whether Felix Savadas may be buying the Joe Nemechek team. There's been no confirmation of that yet. It's only in the rumor stage at the moment. Well, he knocked a little bit down, but not much. Terry Labonte did.
Still about the same thing. Let's find Jeff Bodine and see where he is. There he is, right behind Ernie Irvin, between he and Ernie and Michael Waltrip. That's our 8th place vehicle.
And Dick Trickle now is trying to take 2nd position from Jeff Gordon.
Oh, boy.
Trickle had one of the best runs he's had in a long time.
Well, he'll be a star on SportsCenter tonight, won't he?
I'm telling you.
Man, oh, man. Oh, here we go. Battle for 2nd.
And the fans come up off their seats here in front of us, and they cheer.
One more to go. He's up in front of you. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth, and don't abuse it.
One more to go, he said. He's up there in front of you.
Here's Bill Weber.
Well, the Heilig-Myers pit is a great place to be right now. Dick Trickle stayed on the lead lap under that first caution period. Like coming in,
don't overdrive it.
By coming in and getting 2 tires, going back around, coming in and getting 2 more. Bob Johnson is the crew chief on this car. They're using the same setup that Johnson used on a truck in a race at this track last year. It's a brand new drop snow car. They ran it at Richmond, qualified well, missed the setup, went straight to the back. But now they're running here and running well. And now they're trying to get to the front and maybe get the halfway money in less than 11
be interesting to see if the leader stays out there to get that halfway money. We've gone almost as far since the pit stop as they went on that first start. They stopped at 122 laps, the leaders did, and we're at 240 laps right now. And Dick Trickle, remember, stopped during that last caution. So he's in better shape to stay out there for another 40 or 50 laps. Bill Weber?
That's exactly what they just told us. They pitted on lap 165. They're good, and they want to know if the leader, the 43 car, is going to hang out there, and whether or not Dick Trickle can be the leader at the halfway mark of the Haynes 500.
Dick Trickle now second to Bobby Hamilton as Jeff Gordon slips to third. Back with more right after this. Fourth caution has just come out here at Martinsville, and once again it is Robert Presley who spins in the middle of turn number 2. He's going the wrong way on the racetrack right now, trying to get the car headed in the correct direction. Meanwhile, the pace car is picking up the field. The pit should be open here in just a moment, and the pit stop should be happening.
Yeah, this is a welcome opportunity to come into the pits. Bobby Hamilton was sliding all over the racetrack, and they're all coming in. They got to get that halfway money under the green flag, so there's no point staying out there now to try to get it. Let's go to the pits, and Bill Weber in Dick Trickle pit.
Well, this could be a very meaningful pit stop for this team. Kyle Petty cuts it close as Trickle pulls into his stall around the right side. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the right side. One round, and the wedge wrenches out. They come around to the left side. Meanwhile, Kyle Petty in for 4 tires and fuel right in front of the 90. Down pit road to Jerry Punch.
Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Gordon pitting nose to tail at the far end of pit road. Left side tires on our leader, Hamilton's Pontiac. Left side tires on Gordon's car. They're both off the jacks in the race to the end. And Gordon has the position. And Trickle is boxed in his pit. Let's go back to Bill Weber.
Kyle Petty had Dick Trickle blocked in, but Kyle was also blocked in by the 98. Back to the backstretch to John Gordon.
4-tire change for Jeff Bodine. Also some wedge in the right rear. His car just a little bit loose. Left side's coming on. Rick Mast also pitting here. He is already down and away. Bodine, who was loose, it also had some contact on the right rear, had a fender rubbing, so he had to pull that away. Let's go to Bill.
Dale Jarrett is in. This will be 4 tires and fuel as well. They had planned to put a rubber in the right front spring. They'd already taken one out of this car earlier in the race. Looks like they got it in because it took a long time on that right front. He's only going to do 2 tires, in fact. So his right side is only a spring rubber for Dale Jarrett. He returns to the track.
So the flurry of activity is over, caused by the incident involving the 33 car Robert Presley, who comes in for another stop. This is how it happened. We'll take a look at it from Ken Schrader's onboard camera.
And we see Johnny Benson in the Pennzoil car goes down the corner. He's on the inside of the 33. 33 comes down, a little tap on the left rear, and around goes Presley.
Left side tires changed, and Presley back out of the racetrack. Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett still on pit road. Now Labonte begins to move. Jarrett's still there as now he's down off the jacks, and everybody lines up for the restart. We have reached the 250 lap mark. We're halfway through, but again, the halfway money will not be paid under the caution. Boy, a tremendous crowd on hand here. They added some new seats over in turns 3 and number 4, and they filled up, so it's a full house here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the Haynes 500. It's all being brought to you on ESPN Speed World on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and is being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By McDonald's on the track and in our restaurants, just watch us cook. And by Valvoline DuraBlend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. We'll be back for the restart in just a moment. Stay with us for more from Martinsville. Thank you, Rich. Welcome back to Martinsville, and this is the payoff for the Gatorade $10,000. Bobby Hamilton has just taken the lead and wins it. So Bobby Hamilton passed Jeff Gordon on the 258th lap, and when he came down, the halfway money was awarded, and so 10 grand to Bobby Hamilton. Mast running in 3rd position. The 3rd car in line there is Mark Martin, but he is a lap down in 10th position. Martinsville. Since this track opened back in the 40s, that old train has been going through every day. Rick Mast just is having a great afternoon, and John, he also had a good pit stop.
They had an excellent pit stop back here, Bob. I was just talking to Scott Hayes, the team manager, and he told me, man, we did that pit stop in 17.6 seconds. Can you believe it? I said, no, I can't. But it was at least under 18 seconds. They got Rick out front. They made a slight chassis adjustment, still trying to loosen that car just a little bit. Dick Trickle and Morgan Shepherd side by side back out there on the racetrack, guys.
Yeah, they were for a second, but Morgan goes into fifth position, or maintains fifth position, as Dick Trickle in the 90 car is in sixth. Up there in third position before the pit stop, but now finds himself back in sixth spot. Dick Trickle has finished third, his best career
nice
finish.
And smooth here. Let's get back in the swing of things. Nice and smooth.
He's finished third 4 times, most recently in Dover, but 2 of those career best third place finishes
Good lap there. Good lap.
have been here in Martinsville.
Good lap. Be nice and smooth.
Now here's the battle for position. Ernie Irvan, Michael Waltrip, and Sterling Marlin are battling for the 15th, 16th, and 17th position.
Each a lap down. Sterling Marlin, remember, took a provisional to get into this field, but he's been running pretty well. This is on board with Michael Waltrip, who started in 26th position and has gained 10 positions since the beginning of the event.
There are 9 cars on the lead lap, and then from 10th through 21st position are all 1 lap down.
Now Rick Mast putting a considerable amount of pressure on Jeff Gordon for second. Rick has been able to get around the 99 and the 6 cars.
Still 1 lap down is Jeff Burton. That 1 car, once again, this car is looking for a sponsor and a driver in 1997. So once again, something looks good on the resume is a great run like this.
Rick Mast's best finish this year has been a 6th last week at Dover. He started 29th here this afternoon, was as low as 35th and as high as 3rd. That's where he currently runs.
He's driving a 75 car that Morgan Shepherd is driving now in 1997. And as Benny said, Richard Jackson, who owns the Pontiac #1, looking for a sponsor and a driver.
Let everybody go through here, and you'll watch for your favorite driver.
So Ernie Irvan going by Earnhardt, taking that spot, or trying to take the spot away.
That will be 14th if he gets it.
There's Stacy Compton back in the race. He just went through your frame at the bottom. He's 86 laps behind, but nevertheless, Stacy is still out there, and the only car listed as out of the race is Rusty Wallace.
And Ernie Irvan just must have cut a tire or something. He's in the pits. Well, they didn't change the tire. What? I don't know what happened there.
Well, he just came in, stopped. They didn't do anything, motioned him to go on, and
put no gas in it. But they shouldn't have been out of gas. Strange. He's going to lose another lap. He's going to be 2 laps down now.
First, second, and third right there. Jerry Punch has a report on Jeff Gordon running second.
Bob, just before the last pit stop, Jeff Gordon's car has begun to get very, very loose. So during the pit stop, Ray Evernham called for an air pressure adjustment to try to tighten the car up. That's exactly what's happened now. The car has gotten tight, particularly in the middle of the corner. Jeff Gordon had no way of being able to hold the 43 car back when they ran to the halfway point and halfway money. But Evernham feels very confident that the track will come to them, given 20 to 30 more laps.
Right now, it's a little bit overcast. I talked about earlier in that bright sunshine how these cars loose. Right now, the sun behind the cloud, and when that happens, these cars will tighten up. It's just these cars are that sensitive to temperature change.
Bill, why did Ernie Irvan come in there a moment ago?
Well, Ernie had a tire rub, the left front fender rubbing against the tire. They brought him in, changed out the fender, and sent him back on his way.
Okay. While he was there, got a splash of gas. Ernie Irvan is 2 laps down in 21. Now, remember a while ago when Terry Labonte got his lap back, the interval was 17 seconds. Now Terry Labonte is in 8th spot.
42.
And it's less than 5.5 second interval.
Well, there's been a caution flag since then. That's one thing that helped him gain all that time. But there he is, battling with Jeff Bodine.
Terry started 11th. He's been as low as 24th. He's been as high as 6th, and he's currently 8th, battling for the 7th position with Jeff Bodine. Moving to the inside, as a matter of fact.
Tries to.
Yep.
Didn't quite make that pass. There's Bill Elliott. He's 2 laps down in 22nd position. Remember, he was one of those cars that made an early green flag pit stop. Then the caution came out, so he got caught in that situation. Bill's car is running pretty good.
279 laps have been completed out of 500. Now again, Labonte trying to get inside of Bodine and cannot do it. Bobby Hamilton continuing to lead here at Martinsville. And there he is with Jeff Gordon running second, followed by Rick Mast, Kyle Petty, and Dick Trickle. We'll be back with more from Martinsville in just a moment. There's 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. There's only 5 more races in the zone this year. The NASCAR Winston Cup Championship battle. You saw the top 5 contenders right now. Bobby Hamilton is in the zone in the lead, and Terry Labonte is still trying to take 7th position from Jeff Bodine, and he does.
And Jeremy Mayfield is going to try to go along as well. Ricky Rudd just had a problem. It was smoking back to back pit area. John, what's the problem?
Well, what I'm being told now after Ricky is that he burned the rear gear up, and we've seen that happen a lot here at the Martinsville Speedway. This is the first time for today, but when he came in, a lot of smoke coming out of the rear end, and yeah, you could smell it. The rear end burned up.
So Rudd has 5 more chances now to continue his streak. He has not won a race this year, but has won a race every year since 1983.
And he has a long streak of finishing races as well. Of course, he could get back in the race and finish here today, but he has a longer streak than anyone else. Goes back into 1995 of finishing every race.
And John Andretti was able to get by the 7 car of Jeff Bodine, and he's glued right to the back bumper of Terry Labonte.
Let's go back up front, see how Bobby Hamilton is doing. There he is.
Doing pretty well.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon, though, is within 2-3 car lengths, and the 1 car is...
He's hanging right in there.
Sure is. Got leg speed between himself and Jeff Gordon, but he is now going to dispose of leg speed.
Leg speed is 5 laps down in 29th position.
Try and come with him. Clear for now.
By the way, we just mentioned Ricky Rudd. Jim Long, who's been Lake Speed's crew chief, is going to move over to Ricky Rudd in 97. Kyle Petty has run well all day. He's still in 4th spot.
Not too far behind the leaders. He's a little less than a straightaway.
His best finish this year is 8th. And that was at Dover just last week.
There you can see is 3.6 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Hamilton. Trickle almost 6 seconds back. Camera on top of Kyle Petty's Coors Light Pontiac.
Kyle finished 2nd here in April of 1991, and the 98 of John Andretti and the 75 Morgan Shepherd continue to trade positions. Andretti has it right now. That's 7.
Doing the right thing. You just be patient. That's all you got to do.
Dennis Beaver telling him, be patient. John, be patient. Follow that 5 car. Because rest assured, when this race is over, that 5 car is going to be somewhere around the front. And it looks like that Terry Labonte, once he got that lap back, is just content right now to save his car until that last 100 laps.
He had to drive it awfully hard to get that lap back, and he might be just content, not taking any chances, not burning the brakes up too much. He's riding along at a good pace, at about the same pace as the leaders now. He had lost some in traffic after the green flag reflew, but he's staying about the same pace with them now.
And speaking of pace, it is a record pace at this point. 81.952 is the average so far, compared with the track record of 81.4 miles an hour. Only had 4 caution periods in this event, totaling 23 laps.
Close in the back of Morgan Shepherd. Morgan does not have the speed in that Remington car that he had earlier on. I don't know exactly what's going wrong, but he just does not have the speed he had earlier.
So that's 8th and 9th, and you've seen all the cars on the lead lap. Jeff Bodine, the last on the lead lap in 9th spot.
And then you talked a little while ago, not too long ago, about it being a little overcast, that the clouds had come over the sun. Well, now that has reversed itself. It's the sun is shining down brightly on the racetrack. And that'll certainly affect the handling qualities of the race cars.
Interesting to see if it changed the 24 car. If Jeff Gordon, who was a little tight a moment ago in the overcast, is now loosened up with the sun out. There's our leader, as he has been most of the day.
And there are less than 200 laps to go, 197 to be exact.
He should be getting close to clinching the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, he's led 249, so just...
He's clinched it then.
Yeah.
There's not that many to go. However, Gordon has led 35. Yeah, he still is clinched.
Yep. So the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps go to Bobby Hamilton this afternoon, who continues to lead this race. We'll take another break and be back with more live coverage of the Haynes 500 in just a moment from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. ESPN Speed World is goes live today, the Haynes 500 in Martinsville, Virginia, being led by Bobby Hamilton. Well, the regular season of Major League Baseball wraps up next Sunday, and any game that counts you'll see on ESPN2 and on ESPN. On the Deuce from 1 to 4 next Sunday afternoon, and then after our coverage from North Wilkesboro next Sunday from 4 to 7. Any important game that counts in the standings you'll see next Sunday afternoon. There's the interval between first and second. Jeff Gordon closes in once again. Just about 2 car lengths between himself and Bobby Hamilton.
He just will not let Bobby Hamilton rest, will he?
Keeping the pressure on.
Now let's take a look at the Budweiser race recap. Hamilton leading 257 of the first 310 laps. That clinches the most laps led, of course. We've had 8 lead changes, 4 cautions for 23 laps, and the average speed 82.211 is a record, breaking the record that was set here in the spring. Those that have picked up 5 bonus points for leading, only 3. Hamilton, Wallace, and Gordon. And only 1 car is officially out of the race. That Rusty Wallace. Well, let's go down to our pit reporters and find out how the points contenders are doing. First, here's the good doctor.
Thank you very much, Bob. You know, Jeff Gordon is our point leader, currently running in second spot, and we reported that Gordon had made an air pressure adjustment. The crew actually made the adjustment, and the car was tight. And as Vinny perfectly diagnosed a moment ago, the sun has come back out, and now Gordon has complained the car has gotten a little bit loose. But the real problem for the 24 car, and I asked Ray Evernham a moment ago, I said, are you guys having a problem? He said, no. The 43 is just that good. We're running awfully well here. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, when Terry Labonte had his clutch rod problem, crew chief Gary Dehart told me we'll be all right. They worked on it. They got it fixed. They lost their lap. They got their lap back. Christmas came a little early for these guys. They're very confident, yet very relaxed down here. Terry Labonte having a solid run back on the lead lap. As for Dale Jarrett, it's not quite the same atmosphere down in that pit. DJ was confident from the time he qualified that car that they could have a pretty good run here. Currently 18th after starting 4th. They're struggling a little bit off the lead lap. To John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt, remember he had the handling problems early on. They've almost got that fixed. The car on a stopwatch is the best it's been all day, but it still is not perfect. Earnhardt 1 lap down, riding along in 14th position. What they need is for a caution to come out. They come in, make another adjustment, and then try and get their lap back because they're not in a position to get that lap back right now.
If points were awarded right now, Jeff Gordon would have a 96-point advantage on Terry Labonte, a 163-point edge on Dale Jarrett. The interval would be 333 to Earnhardt and 423 to Martin. Now 6 through 10, look at the positions that would change there. Schrader would move up 1, Rudd down 1, Irvin up 1, Rusty down 1, and Sterling Marlin would hang on to 10th in the point standings. Bobby Hamilton would gain 2 positions up to 11th. Bobby Labonte would lose 1. Musgrave would lose 1. Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Spencer would stay the same. That's it. The points were awarded right now at 320 lap mark.
But fortunately they aren't. We're going to run 180 more laps to solve the mystery. Who's going to win the Haynes 500 here at Martinsville Motor Speedway?
Last time we had a first-time winner in Winston Cup. Well, it was Ward Burton at Rockingham last October.
And that was in a Pontiac.
That's right, yeah.
There you see all the cars going through. Dallenbach trying to get on the inside of the 4 car.
Has dropped back a little bit from Jeff Gordon, and the 75 car of Morgan Shepherd has dropped back to 8th position. Doc, what's going on there?
Well, Bob, he has slid back to be the next to the last car on the lead lap. Just Jeff Bodine behind him in 9th spot on the lead lap. I asked Jerry Kennan a moment ago if there's a problem with Morgan. He said, no, Doc, here's the situation. We know we can make it on one more pit stop around lap 370. I told Morgan, find him a comfortable spot, keep the pace up, stay on the lead lap, and save those brakes. After our final pit stop, we will use everything. We'll use the brakes, the tires, but right now save the race car and won't punish them those last 100 laps.
Since Jerry Kennan joined the team as crew chief, that team has moved up 16 positions in the point standings since June the 10th.
That's pretty strong. Strong statement.
Jeff Bodine now closes in on Morgan. As another Heinz 57 field summary, we'll show you where everybody is at the moment.
See there, 9 cars still on the lead lap. Then there's a number of cars that are 1 lap down.
Cars 1 lap down. And there's 5 that's 2 lap down.
Report that the 37 car is showing some smoke.
And he's slowing down on the backstretch. That is Jeremy Mayfield.
Kmart Little Caesars Ford comes in for a pit stop. Jeremy running in 13th position when the problem occurred. He's going to go behind the wall, looks like.
Brake problem. It won't stop.
And we might see more and more of that now. We're getting to the point of the race where they've used those brakes a lot out there.
Yeah, that fireman's walking over with his fire extinguisher. It might be a good idea. There we go.
Yep.
Jeff Gordon is there.
He is right there. And the 88 car is about to go a second lap down in 18th position.
All those cars right in front of the leader. The 4, 30, and 88 are 1 lap down. And as you said, in jeopardy of going that second lap down.
So each has to protect his position while they contend with the faster cars coming up from behind.
And here comes Gordon coming up. He knows that as Hamilton stayed down on the inside. And here comes Gordon up on the outside trying to take the lead.
Wheel to wheel into turn 1.
Yeah, but Gordon couldn't quite do it.
Now Jarrett sees the leader on the inside of him. He moves over, and Hamilton will take that spot away. And Jeff Gordon will remain in second place. There we see Benson going by Sterling Marlin, taking a spot away.
And that is for position. That's for 16th. Now Gordon to the inside of Jarrett. And he'll get around him with ease. So the leaders move through traffic now, but nothing changes. Bobby Hamilton maintains the lead over Jeff Gordon. We'll be right back. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
At Barnwell Speedway, what else can we talk about except brakes? When the driver goes in the corner, applies the brakes, see the rotors turning cherry red. There's a complete brake assembly. In practice, the teams put paint on the rotor in the cooling fins. If that red paint were to disappear, that means that rotor has reached 1,166 degrees Fahrenheit. How do they keep them cool? Huge openings in the front bumper. Hoses going back to the wheels. As the car goes down the straightaway at 130 miles per hour, blows cold air on that rotor, hopefully keeping it cool. Because if you don't, the temperature will melt all the seals in the caliper, and this will happen. Fire, your day is ruined.
And Benny, teams use a variety of methods to get the message to their driver. For instance, some use cockpit brake lights. And other messages to their drivers are a little bit more specific. Variations on the braking theme will Earnhardt's guys use reflective tape on the wheels to keep brake heat away from the tires. The next big thing in brakes is the Brembo system. It's lightweight, expensive, it's imported from Formula One. One team used it in the spring, 7 have it here today.
And also there's a couple other manufacturers. There's Alcon that's here today, and also Willwood brakes. So 3 manufacturers here today.
Bill Weber is down there where they're working on the brakes on Jeremy's car.
And that's exactly what they're doing. Jeremy still sits in the car. The window net's still up. He's hopeful. Now he begins to take off the gloves, so maybe they've made a decision. But his Willwood brakes here have gone away. The crew looking it over, taking away some of the air ducting to try and get a better look at it. But Jeremy's Kmart Little Caesars Ford sits back here behind pit row. And looks like he's starting to take off the helmet, so he could be done for the day.
Now there's a duct that you see beside the spring. That's a duct for the rear brakes. Let me show you what we're talking about, Matt. This is the brake duct that hangs off the trailing arm. This is the trailing arm. The duct hangs off that, picks up air off the racetrack under the car and takes it back to the right rear. And it's somewhere, it goes back into the rear, somewhere behind that spring. We really can't see it. Folks, you see this piece up here? That is a rear sway bar. It goes across here, and that is a link down to the rear bar. Some of the guys do not run a rear bar at this racetrack, and Mark might not have the other side hooked up, but he's ready to hook it up in case he were to need it.
Martin is a lap down, running in 11th position. Coming up on Dale Jarrett.
You wonder why the rear rotor does not heat up like the front rotor, because the front brakes, they're about 75% of the stopping power is in the front brakes, only 25% in the rear brakes.
Back up front, Hamilton continuing to lead. Jeff Gordon. There's Rick Maston, third. Fourth is Kyle Petty. Fifth is Terry Labonte. Now look at this AutoZone on-track interval. We timed 5 consecutive laps, 340 to 344. The interval on lap 340 was 8.8 seconds, and the interval on lap 344 was 8.1. And looks like the Labonte was faster on every lap except one, and he was the same. And there on the last lap, Ned, he was 0.3 of a second faster.
Yeah, and just look how consistent he is. Every lap the same. Of course, that's keeping yourself cool out there and making the same turns, same braking at every point on the racetrack. And being that consistent on this racetrack really pays off.
We got red logos at the top and blue at the bottom, BP.
Yeah, got a couple of Pontiacs, some Chevrolets, 3 Pontiacs, a couple of Chevrolets, and then 5 Fords in the second 5.
And the top 7 drivers.
See, Terry Labonte has gained even more. He's now 7 3/4 seconds behind, so he's gained another 1/4 second on the 2 leaders, Bobby Hamilton in the Ford 3 STP car and the 24 of Jeff Gordon.
As I was saying, the first 7 cars have never won here at Martinsville. The 7 car just passed the 90, so Jeff Bodine moves to 7th and Dick Trickle back to 8th. Now we have Jeff Bodine in the top 7, and he has won here at Martinsville. In fact, he's won 4 times, 2 in the spring and 2 here in the late summer, fall.
Plus Busch competition modifieds. Yep. He's won in everything he's run here, I think.
There's Jeff Bodine, who started 20th. Then as high as 5th, low as 20th, currently in 7th. So the king, Richard Petty, watches his driver, Bobby Hamilton, lead this race, possibly on his way to his very first NASCAR Winston Cup victory here at Martinsville. 355 laps completed. Still got a long way to go in the Haynes 500. Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. We welcome you to our live coverage of the Haynes 500, the 26th event of the Winston Cup season. Bobby Hamilton is the leader of the race. His car owner is Richard Petty. How many races did Richard win here?
15. That man, folks, have won 15 times at this speedway. So his car is used to going to victory lane at Martinsville.
Morgan Shepherd just passed Dick Trickleback, so they've changed that position back and forth several times. And this spotter tells him to be cool.
Let's go to Jerry Punch, who's with the King.
Hey, Richard, this has to conjure up a lot of memories. The STP Pontiac running up front. You won here 15 times.
Yeah, we've run some good races here. I'd like for him to get a little bit further ahead, but the main deal, if he just stays there, he's going to be all right.
Did you have any idea coming to this weekend that you were going to be this good here?
Well, we don't never know. We keep waiting for it to happen every week, and we get closer and closer. Maybe this will be the week.
Richard Petty has been waiting 4 years to be climbed out of a car in November in Atlanta in 1992. Today could be his day.
Both Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon have put another lap on the 33 car of Robert Presley, who's now 5 laps down. Speaking of the 33 car, BP, do you remember 5 years ago today when you made one of your worst predictions in your broadcasting career?
I certainly do. I said, it's a shame that Harry Gant will not win 4 in a row today.
That is exactly right. And what did he do?
Won 4 in a row today. Came back, a couple laps down to win in the 33 car.
All right, run her easy now. Do all you can do. Just run it easy.
4th place battle here. John Andretti, Kyle Petty.
Once again, that was Dennis B with a spotter for John Andretti.
This is the time everybody starts losing brakes to be easy on them. We don't want to be one of them.
That was Tony Burke. Communication with John Andretti. And Andretti has cut down the interval from 7.8 to 6.9. And he was consistently faster than Bobby Hamilton.
Gained almost a second in 5 laps.
And one reason for that is because the leaders are in traffic. They put a second lap on Dale Earnhardt, who's running 15th. Gordon to the inside of Dale, and he also passes Earnhardt.
You know, Jeff Gordon seems to be content sitting there running behind Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton and the Teddy crew have to wonder, does he have anything left? Remember Darlington a few weeks ago, guys?
Yeah.
I'm afraid when this thing gets down in that last 50 laps or so, he's going to race harder than he's racing right now. We're talking about Jeff Gordon.
And they've got to make another pit stop. If it's going to be made on the green, again, pit crews will come into play.
Saving those brakes.
Yep. You can see John Andretti has cut the interval down to 6.43 seconds. 1st to 4th.
But as Tony first said, this is the point of the race.
We anticipate pit stops at any moment now, so we're going to take a break here so that we can show you what happens in the pit area at the Haynes 500. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. ESPN Speed World coverage of the Haynes 500. Being brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. By Chevrolet. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet. By the more than 1,425 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. While we were away, Dale Earnhardt made a pit stop. Now Dale Jarrett is in. Let's go to Bill.
He's got the right side tires on, working on the left. The quality care Ford is down and away. He got his fuel. Kyle Petty is in. 1 stall in front of the 88. Petty also getting 4 tires in fuel. He'll have 377 on the board. We got the right sides on. Second count of Unocal gasoline going in. Jack goes over, car goes up. They yank off the left side tires. Go pull them on. Left guys tight. Kyle Petty down and away. This could be. These guys should be able to go the distance from here. It won't be fun the last few laps, but they should be able to make it.
Petty rejoining the racetrack in the backstretch. Comes out with Michael Waltrip and Darrell Waltrip.
And the leaders are right behind Michael in pretty heavy traffic. There they are going past Stacy 46 car. There's Jimmy Spencer. Hamilton comes off the corner.
Not this time. Dale Jarrett with the new tires on. Passes Jeff Gordon.
Terry Irvin just made a pit stop. And the 98 car now in the pits. He's one of the lead lap cars. John Andretti.
Service on the right side.
Sterling Marlin comes in on the backstretch.
Peter's still 2 seconds back, and he's in some heavy traffic.
That's Dick Trickle's spotter telling the leader is 2 seconds behind him in heavy traffic. So Peddle has hard.
He's on new tires behind you, Dick. Let him go.
Staying out there for at least another lap.
Man, that's heavy traffic.
Yes, it is.
I think it probably would be better served to stop right now and try to avoid. Look at all that traffic right in front of them.
Yeah, they're 2 and 3 abreast in front.
Jeff Burton just made a pit stop.
And here goes the battle for the lead. Gordon dives down on the inside. He's right beside the leader.
Yep, Sterling Marlin was in his way. Now Bobby Hamilton, even if he wanted to make a pit stop, couldn't because he was blocked by Sterling Marlin. The crew said come on in, but he couldn't. Let's see if he does it this time.
He's going to have to get down on the inside of the racetrack. He can't do it while he's up there on the outside.
And Jeff Gordon pulls alongside to challenge.
So Hamilton backs off and says, okay, I'll go in the pits.
Let's see if Jeff does now. Nope, Jeff stays out. Hamilton comes in. Bobby Hamilton relinquishes the lead. Jerry, he's headed toward you.
Bob, 35 miles an hour, what should be the final schedule stop anyway for the SCP Pontiac team. Bobby Loomis and company will change 4 tires. They have planned no adjustments, no air pressure change. And why wouldn't it? This car has been dominating here at Martinsville all afternoon. Left side tires going on. And now Jeff Gordon's crew radios to tell Gordon to come in next time by. Hamilton's car should be off the jack and gone by the time Gordon gets here. Left rear, lugged up. Problem. That cost him about 2 seconds. 23 seconds even, and Gordon should be coming in this time.
And Gordon comes in right now. He couldn't afford to stay out there and run too long with Hamilton going back out on new tires because he runs a good bit faster on those new tires. Let's go back to Jerry Punch.
We did not see an adjustment on Hamilton. We will see an adjustment on Jeff Gordon. Watch the right rear. They'll put a white L-shaped handle. They are going to make an adjustment in the Panhard bar. Gordon said the car is loose. Now 1, 2 is rounds of adjustment in the Panhard bar in the right rear. They told Jeff they could tighten the car up in the middle of the corner, but it's going to make it loose coming off. Left side tires are on. Final pit stop. 23-1. Let's go to John Kernan.
Rick Masters in a 4-tire change, also a minor chassis adjustment on the right rear. They've also made an air pressure adjustment on the left rear, make sure the grill is clean. Rick claims that the car is a little bit tight, so they hope to loosen it up. And now Jerry Labonte is headed down pit road. Let's go to Bill Weber. What a day it has been for this crew. Jerry Labonte slides his Chevy to a stop. They go around to the right side. They'll get 4 tires of fuel. So far, no signs of any chassis adjustments. They've been very happy with how the car has been running. They've got the right side tight. Now round to the left. Walter Smith with 2 pumps on the jack. The left rear, the left front on. They've got the lug nuts cut on the left front. Green a little bit on the left rear. 24 for the 5 car. Jerry Punch, Mark Martin coming to you.
Final pit stop for the 4th place car. The Valvoline driver, Mark Martin. They clean the windshield. Jack the right side of the car up. No change in Panhard or wedge in the right rear of the car. Now left side tires. Jackman comes to the left. 1 pump, 2 pumps. He couldn't. Left front, left rear. Tire fell on the crew member on this side of the pit wall, and the crew member now tumbles over and sits on the pit wall, but Mark Martin is down and away.
Ken Schrader has a problem. He came in, stopped at his pit stall. They raised the hood, then decided to push it behind the wall. So Ken Schrader having problems here.
He was running in about the 17th position, Bob, before he had those problems. Bill Elliott's in with McDonald's forward.
Bill Weber is there.
He's got his right side tires, putting on the left.
Mark Martin crew member here on. Oh, he got his heel caught, didn't he?
Yeah, it looks like
the tire came over the wall. Yeah.
Those tires weigh about 80 pounds apiece. If they start bouncing around, it can be a problem.
Jeff Gordon is the leader. And look at his pit stop. The off-track time comparing Gordon and Hamilton. 31.8 for Jeff and 35.3 for Bobby Hamilton.
And then John Andretti, that 98 car, folks, is the second place car. He's right there.
The big loser was Dick Trickle. Bill?
Big time problems on the left front. They fumbled with the air gun, had trouble with the lug nuts. A man apparently came over the wall to help them get the tire and the lug nuts handled. So when they finally got that done, which took forever, NASCAR held them. Too many men over the wall. Extremely costly pit stop for the 90. To Jerry Punch for an update on the 6th crew member.
The crew member was Mike Cash. Now what happened, you saw the tire come over the wall. The tire caught Mike just the left lower leg and bounced off his ankle, forcing him to turn his ankle. He's been able to shake it off. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, you can tell he's hurting a little bit, but he will shake it off. Here's the battle for 4th. Rick Mast and Kyle Petty are wheel to wheel into 3. And Mast with the inside line may have the spot here. Yes, he does. So he moves to 4th. Rick Mast is 4th. Kyle Petty is 5th. Up ahead of them, Bobby Hamilton, John Andretti 2nd. Jeff Gordon leads the Haynes 500.
Well, if it hadn't got loose, if it hadn't broke traction, if I hadn't overcorrected, it wouldn't cause such a reaction. If we hadn't if the motor hadn't expired, we'd change suspension, we'd have paid more attention to the weather and the tune. Hell, maybe it was the moon. If we hadn't got caught up in traffic in the turn, well, I do believe could have won that one. Could have won that one. Well, I do believe.
He'll bump it.
Yeah.
Get on back there.
Oh, yeah.
Music courtesy of Lonnie Hillard, who has a racing CD out, the proceeds of which go to benefit the Racing Wives Auxiliary. Look at this. We are going to have a battle for the lead here with John Andretti coming up on Jeff Gordon.
John Andretti has driven a very smart race today. He has stayed out of trouble, conserved his brakes and the car, and now is battling for the lead. Now remember, he stopped about 8 laps before Gordon did, so that helped him to gain some position on the racetrack, but now how much that'll affect him near the end with those tires being 8 laps older than Gordon's, time will tell.
And anyway, it is John Andretti's best run of the year so far. His best 96 finish was at Darlington in the Southern 500. He finished 5th. His career best occurred in June of '95 at Michigan International Speedway, where he finished 4th.
Folks, something has gone amiss on the 43 car. We can see he's being passed by Rick Mast, by Terry Labonte, and now Kyle Petty up to try to challenge for that 5th spot. So Hamilton's car just not like it was.
And again, he's the only one eligible for $98,800 in Unocal bonus money that goes to the winner of the race if he is also the pole sitter. Now, Ken Schrader came in, went behind the wall. Remember a few laps ago, the reported problem was brakes. He's back out there, although he is 23 laps down in 32nd position.
Kyle Petty, this is riding along with Kyle Petty as he tries to close in on Bobby Hamilton. to go.
Jeff Gordon now has a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Jimmy Spencer, Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, and others.
Well, Darrell Waltrip and Jimmy Spencer both.
Whoa! Look at Spencer.
Got her sideways off there. He had just passed Jeff Gordon about 5 laps ago and got back. He is about to go 3 laps down. He was back within 2 laps there until he made that slide.
He's in 19th. Now here comes John Andretti to also pass.
Still on the outside. Just be patient. We'll get with his sponsor.
Jerry, what's wrong with Bobby Hamilton?
Well, Bob, we showed you their pit stop. They made no adjustments whatsoever in the STP Pontiac. No air pressure change, no ratchet, no wedge change. But apparently the car has just gotten loose, and Bobby's having trouble getting the car hooked up coming off the corner, and obviously cost him a lot of time on the racetrack.
Yes, indeed. Back to 5th spot now.
Right now, while the leaders are in this heavy traffic, Rick Mast and Terry Labonte making the most of it. Labonte just 2 3/4 seconds behind, and Rick Mast is between them.
Gordon is about to put Dale Earnhardt down another lap. Dale is in 15th at the moment, just 1 lap down, but stands to go 2 here in just a few moments. There is Terry Labonte in 4th position. Terry had clutch problems early in the race, lost a lap, made it up on the racetrack, and now finds himself in 4th spot, just 2.5 seconds behind.
Labonte has definitely had a great race car today.
The 33 car, Robert Presley, is out. A broken rear end gear, we understand. Jerry has been listening to the radio conversation with Jeff Gordon. Jerry, what are they saying?
This is the time of the race when Ray Evernham really shows you how good of a crew chief he is. He has given Gordon a pep talk about 2 laps ago. He said, okay, Jeffrey, it's our race now. Keep it on the bottom. Hug the inside. Drive it straight off. Let it roll in, get on it, and drive it straight off. You'll save the tires, and you'll save position. But hug the inside, and remember, you got to come straight out of the corner. Evernham does pep talk about every 3 or 4 laps to his young driver.
Jeff is having some problems here getting around Earnhardt.
Obviously, Earnhardt is trying to save that lap, if he possibly can.
He is 15th, 1 lap down, almost 2 laps down.
We got 80 laps to go.
There's an opening for Jeff Gordon. Can he accelerate down the straightaway?
Well, Earnhardt's got about as much acceleration as Gordon does, it seems. But in the corners is where Gordon is better. There he comes up beside him. It looks like John Andretti, he wants to follow Jeff Gordon there too if he possibly can.
Well, Jeff is still having trouble with Dale. Give up, will he?
No, he's going to have to now. Nemechek is in front of him. And
let's see how John Andretti handles the situation. Well, he got around Earnhardt easy. Actually, it would be to Dale Earnhardt's benefit if the 98 could get past Jeff Gordon. It would mean, and if John could go on to win the race, it would mean just that. Fewer points for Jeff Gordon in his championship quest.
That'd be 10 points.
Yep.
There's the battle for position.
8th spot here. And notice that interval between 1st and 4th is lessening. It's down to 1.87 seconds as we see Morgan Shepherd in 8th now and Jeff Bodine in 9th.
There's Rick Mast. The Hooters Pontiac is in 3rd spot. That number 5, the Kellogg Chevrolet Terry Labonte is in 4th.
Jeff Gordon is the leader at the moment with 75 laps now to go. 425 are in the books of the Haynes 500. Back in a moment. Thank you, Rich. We are back at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. The Haynes 500 being led by Jeff Gordon at the moment, with John Andretti second and a hard-charging Terry Labonte running in third. Shop Talk will be coming up next with Rusty Wallace as the guest. That's at the conclusion of this event, scheduled for 4:30 an hour from now, but it may be a little bit ahead of that, so just keep your dial right there where it is and catch Shop Talk with Rusty next. Both Labonte and Rick Mast are closing up on Jeff Gordon. Terry in third, Rick in fourth.
There we see Rick Mast. He's able to, Terry Labonte blew by Mast in the third spot. Jeff Gordon just put that lap back on Darrell Waltrip. Waltrip got back.
Second place behind you.
There they're telling Darrell, second place car right behind you. So Darrell, being the pro he is, said, okay, go ahead. But look, Terry Labonte is in the same picture.
Here's how Gordon got by Darrell Waltrip. Had to really make a left-hand turn coming off of turn 4, but he did, and turned a little bit shorter than normal.
Looked like that Darrell Waltrip was going to move over and let Jeff go by on the outside, not realizing he was on the inside.
Right.
Darrell Waltrip had a power steering pump problem earlier. They changed the pump on one of the pit stops, so Darrell is 7 laps down.
Yeah, 24th position.
6 straight top 3 finishes for Jeff Gordon on short tracks this year.
He just had a phenomenal year in short track racing.
Terry Labonte, as an AutoZone on-track interval will show you, has closed in on Jeff Gordon. It was 1.9 seconds on lap 433 and 1.3 seconds on lap 437. Wow. And in some cases, Terry was 0.3 of a second quicker.
There we see it 1.3 seconds. Now he's 0.77 seconds behind Terry Labonte. Definitely the faster car of the entire field right now.
We continue to run at record speed here at Martinsville.
John Andretti has done a terrific job today in the RCA car.
83.7 is the average speed right now. The track record 81.4. So we're just blowing away the previous track record.
Michael Waltrip, the Citgo car, going a lap down. He's 2 laps down. Now he's in 14th spot. That will put him 2 laps down to the leader.
Inside, on the inside.
Just past 57 laps to go. So it's a Heinz 57 field summary.
Chuck Joyce telling Michael Waltrip, cars on the inside. That was his spotter. By mentioning his name on the air.
What a day it has been for Terry Labonte and Gary Dehart and the rest of this team. Making the repair on the clutch. Terry lost a lap, and look at this. He's right up there contending for the win.
Really was dramatic. Had to ram the stop sign, pin pit road, because he had no choice. He couldn't stop. Had to go down pit road on the backstretch to simply keep the car moving. Could not get back on the racetrack. But he did all those things, and here he is, just a few car lengths away from the leader of the race.
Not really worried about the 5 car. We just want to be around at the end, and then we'll be ready to go with about 10 to go. Right now, we've got 52 to go. Inside.
I think Jeff Gordon has picked the pace up a little bit.
Fine, let him go up there and race, Gordon.
He sees some yellow and red in his rear view mirror.
Get it right front brake. That's what I'm saying. You just keep sure what you're doing. You'll win this race. You stay right with him, though, but don't use the brakes.
Tony Furr telling Labonte, said, let Labonte go up there, chase it, let those two guys use their cars up. Let them use their cars up.
All right, let's go down to Jerry Punch on a developing tire story.
Well, guys, you know, NASCAR tries to maintain a level playing field to make sure everything's even for everybody. About 20 laps ago, NASCAR official Steve Peterson came down pit road and basically confiscated a tire that had come off each of the top 5 or 6 cars. And what Steve was looking for, they were checking those tires for the presence of an internal bleeder valve. They wanted to make sure that nobody had an internal bleeder valve that was bleeding the air pressure down that would tend to build up here with all the heat that brakes uses, and of course braking here at Martinsville. And thus far, from what I've checked with Steve, they haven't found one yet in the top 5.
So we will keep our eye on that situation as the race rolls along here. Back in 18th position is the driver of the 88 car. He is 2 laps down.
They haven't had a very good day. I believe that's the worst I've seen that car perform this year. Just apparently missed the setup and just could never get going.
He is, however, the second corner finalist for the True Value NASCAR Man of the Year Award. And we got a problem in turn 4 just ahead of Dale Jarrett. That is Sterling Marlin, who spun around. And is there going to be a caution?
Yes.
So everybody's going to get another set of tires for the final possible run to the flag.
Now, to Dick Trickle, I wonder if he was lapped by the leader just as the caution flag came out. Looks like he was. Huh. That was the second time the Trickle go a lap down.
This is only our 5th caution of the afternoon, and it comes out on lap 4:55.
Here they go.
Yep.
Final time.
Here's Bill Weber.
Terry Labonte is here. Final stop of the day. Right side tires. Clean the windshield. Fuel won't be a necessity. They top it off anyway. Right front is done. Right rear is done. Swing around to the left side. Again, Walter Smith with a jack. Putting on the left side tires. Down to Jeff Gordon's pit. Dr. Punch.
Left side tires going on Jeff Gordon's DuPont chair. Well, this may be a break for Gordon. He just radioed as the car was bouncing. Here's Labonte down pit road. Gordon beats him. It'll be Gordon Labonte. And here comes Andretti. Let's go to Rick Mass pit on the backstretch. John.
Right side tires already on, no adjustment for Rick Mass. Here comes Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte down the backstretch. Left side tires going on. Here comes John Andretti. Rick guns the engine, says, let me down, let me down. Finally, the jack goes down, and Rick is down and away, but it looks like the 43 car is going to beat him out of the pits.
Now, the question I've got, can that 43 car find that magic that he had earlier? What is the problem? Sterling Marlin spun coming off the corner. Ernie Irvan almost got into him. Several cars almost making contact. As a matter of fact, there comes the leader, Jeff Gordon. That's why Dick Trickle's another lap down.
And Dale Jarrett is in 3rd place in points coming into this event.
Making a big adjustment there on the left rear. It looks like they either put a rubber in the spring or took one out or something.
And he's rolling once again. So a caution, the 5th of the afternoon, waves over Martinsville Speedway. We'll take a break and be right back. You rejoin us just as we are about to go green once again. The crowd is on its feet.
Green, green, green.
Gordon, Labonte, Andretti, Hamilton, and Jeff Burton.
I wondered about the Bobby Hamilton car. Can they find that magic? Jerry Punch, what they do on that pit stop?
Well, Benny, they made no adjustments whatsoever. They just told Bobby he had a badly mismatched set of tires. The tires weren't a very good set. They put the same set like he had to start the race on. They told Bobby, you can handle them now, big guy. It's your race to win.
And Jeff Burton has gotten back on the lead lap now. And remember, one time he was 2 laps down, and one time was the fastest car on the racetrack. In fact, he's been very fast all day long, so he's up there in 5th position right now.
Yep, Hamilton, Burton, and Rick Mast are just right there together. Look at Mast and Burton rubbing as they go through the corner.
Now, Bobby Hamilton is clear of the traffic. Can he catch the leader? While he was trying to get around Nemechek, they pulled about a half straightaway lead on him.
Mast going around Joe Nemechek on the outside. Nemechek back in 28th position, 10 laps down. Burton now looking to the inside of Hamilton as they come off the corner.
I guess the question should be, can Jeff Burton run down the leaders? He is really fast on the Exide batteries board.
Sure is. Just ahead of these two, the 98 car of John Andretti running third.
Ernie Irvin is coming back into the pits all of a sudden. And it looked like pulling a fender off. Pulling a fender off once again.
Western Auto Mechanic of the race is Tony Furr for John Andretti. Congratulations to Tony. He's busy.
That's right, very busy.
Guiding his driver.
Congratulations, Tony. Well deserved. Good run today.
Jeff Bodine, they're battling for position.
Battling for the 8th spot.
Watch this replay now.
Jeff Bodine comes off the corner. Whoa, baby.
They're really crossways.
And Morgan tried to shoot to the inside and gain the spot, but couldn't do it. There's Dick Trickle in the middle of this battle also, but he has lost 3 laps. He, of course, was up there among the front runners, but not anymore. He's back in 18th. Jeff Gordon has just registered his 2,000th lap led in NASCAR Winston Cup competition this year, and look how far he is ahead of second place. And a spin off of turn 4.
Ricky Craven sitting right on the racetrack. This is going to bring out the caution flag.
Caution comes out with 13 laps to go. 470 laps completed. Don't think they'll pit, do you?
The cars, Morgan Shepherd and Jeff Bodine might pit. Mike Kyle Petty, the cars on the tail end of the lead, the cars that are on the lead lap, but near the end of the lineup. Yeah. Whatever I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say.
Those running up front will probably not be pitting.
I don't think so.
Let's see what happened to Ricky Craven coming off of corner number 4. He was in a lot of traffic, it looks like. There he's sideways.
Yeah, it's lake speed on the inside. I don't know if there's contact or not. Couldn't tell.
6th caution of the afternoon, however. 30 laps to go here at Martinsville. It's anybody's race. We'll be right back. Once again, just as you rejoin us, we are set to go back to racing. Pace car's light is off. It pulls into the pit area, and the field is set to take the green flag again.
Go.
Green on lap 475, 25 to go.
Well, this caution flag gave Terry Labonte the opportunity to be right on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. If he has anything, now's the time.
They don't need to be saving those brakes anymore. They're saving anything else.
There was a car between Labonte and John Andretti, Ernie Irvin, and Ernie just got a little bit high coming out of the second corner and hit the wall.
And there's a 43 car trying to get up on the outside of John Andretti.
ready for the third position.
Clear.
Car not able to come back out the way he wants to. We can see it cost him a car length or so.
And 43 doesn't appear to be making much progress in headway trying to run down the 98.
No, he doesn't. Well, I don't know. He looks like he might be just a little bit quicker. The 42 car, Kyle Petty, the Coors Light car, did stop, did change 4 tires. It does not appear like it's helped him that much. Oh, he just ran across the curb. Oh. He's trying to get on the inside of Kyle Petty. His left front went across the curb. There you see the run in order.
Kenny Wallace in the 81 car.
Kenny's run a good race today. It's just one lap down in 11th place. He and Mark Martin are the only 2 cars that are 1 lap down. Mark is in 10th.
Kenny is just off the scoring pylon at 11th spot.
Jeff Bodine there in the 7 QBC car also stopped and changed 4 tires on that caution flag.
Now 19 laps to go. 481 completed. And if points were awarded right now with Gordon in the lead and Terry Labonte second, there would be an 81-point spread between the two. There's John Andretti running in 3rd spot.
Patient with your brakes now. Ain't tired yet. Be patient.
Best performance of the year.
Tony is still telling John, don't, 18 laps to go. But John, still, it's not time to use those brakes yet.
Wow. When is the time to use them?
Jeff Burton closes in on Bobby Hamilton here again. There's Rick Mast in 6th. 7th is Morgan Shepherd. There he is.
Good run for Morgan Shepherd today.
Yep. 8th is the 7 car of Jeff Bodine, who just passed the 42 car of Kyle Petty for 8th. There's the 9th place car of Kyle, and those are the only cars on the lead lap.
Our car just went by Kyle, so I agree, Benny. That set of tires that Kyle put on, I don't think were what he needed.
And I would be surprised when he ran across the curb over there if he didn't bend the toe out.
Yeah, could very well have done
it. 15 laps to go, and Jeff Gordon now has about a 8, 9, 10 car length advantage at some times over Terry Labonte.
And Jeff Burton, after a great run, the Exide car, looks like he's on 7-cylinder brakes or something. I don't know. But he's off the pace, slow.
Yeah, he is very, very slow right now. He made up 2 laps today, running a whale of a race. Then here, just less than 15 laps to go. Has to pull it down to the inside of the racetrack.
Now there he just lost 8th position to Kyle. So he's just riding it out here for the last 13 circuits.
Bill Weber, what happened?
Well, he fought his way back to the front, but Jeff Burton's out of brakes. He told his crew, I think I popped an O-ring.
Oh, boy. Speaking of brakes, Wally Dallenbach had to climb on them there to avoid hitting Burton.
And he's smoking in that 15 car. Looks like the right front fender's got some damage and might be rubbing the tire.
Wally is 20th, 3 laps down in the Hayes Modem Ford.
I've been getting down 11 laps to go.
Yeah.
Somebody tell Tony to turn John loose.
Yeah, don't need to save those brakes anymore. Stand on it.
It's amazing what a new driver and car combination can do, can it? I mean, that car hasn't run that well, and John Andretti hasn't run that well in a long time.
No, but the 98 car did run good here in the spring in the Goodies 500. He finished, what, 4th or 5th? He was in the top 5. 4th it was. So.
Now back to the leaders. There he is. Jeff Gordon, 10 laps to go. And back to Terry Labonte. Labonte not able to make that charge. And right now the 98 car is holding his own, but I think the distance is too large for him to overcome.
Don't get real aggressive with the brakes, but you can run it a little bit harder. Try not to be too aggressive.
Tony turned him loose now.
Finally, with 9 laps to go, Tony says, go get him. You can be aggressive now. Well, we'll see if he can close in any.
Heavy traps right in front of them.
Remember, we still got to finish at least third.
Yeah, Jeff got a big break there. 2 cars between himself and Terry through the corner.
That right now might be the best race on the racetrack is for third place between the 98 of John Andretti and the 43 of Bobby Hamilton.
Jeff Burton just lost a lap at 9th. There's the interval between first and second. They come around this time and complete lap 494.
Oh, the 15 car spins.
He's up high on the racetrack.
And he's trying to move. The NASCAR officials are looking. If he can get an opening, I think he can go, but their cars all basically all the way around the racetrack.
Yep, he can't find an opening. They're still waiting. No caution yet. No caution yet.
Man, oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah, now it's getting serious.
Yeah, it is.
The fans are...
Oh, the leader!
Oh.
Across the curve!
Man,
now the caution comes out.
He just can't find the opportunity to get the car rolling again because they're...
Now Labonte, they're racing back for the lead. Back for the caution flag and the lead, and Gordon will do it. Won't he?
Yes.
Man.
Well, only 4 laps to go here. And Dallenbach is stalled, it looks like, down in the second corner. Now look what happened.
Going down the corner, Spencer on the outside, Dallenbach on the inside. Dallenbach tries to go on the inside of Jimmy Spencer. Looks like when he gets to the corner, Spencer's going to go down the hill. Yeah, just lost it. Trying to get on the inside was not room. He tried to turn away from Jimmy Spencer and spun himself out.
And as a result of this, Jeff Gordon got himself in a bit of a bind here.
Tell you what, he might have hurt that car. We see the 71 car.
Yep.
Of Dave Marcus forced a 24 car on the curb. Jerry Ponce, you heard anything?
Well, yeah, but I can't repeat it, Benny. They were pretty upset down here. Ray Evernham just leaped off the pit wall, went down to the NASCAR official and said, you know, hey, you got to put that caution flag out, man. We got cars going high and low. We're trying to win this race. I think Ray has settled down a little bit, but, yeah, I heard a few things, Benny.
Do you think Jeff heard it? Did he say anything about knocking the toe in out when he ran across the curb?
He didn't say that. He said he hit the curb. He didn't say anything about the steering, and he hadn't said anything. I think he's trying to cool off, too. They're all trying to cool off, just let things go and see how it shakes out this final 3 laps. They don't want to mention it to him, and if he brings it up, they'll answer him. They won't even talk about the toe in to the driver in these last 3 laps.
Well, he's only going to have to hold off Labonte for 1 lap because they come down now and get lap 498 in the books. They give the 1 lap to go signal, but the green will come out at lap 499. It'll be the green and the white together. It's a single file restart because we're within 10 laps. And can Jeff Gordon hold off the challenge of his teammate Terry Labonte for just 1 trip around this half-mile racetrack? Let's not forget about the 98, the 43 and the 1, the 75. Hey, it's anybody's race.
Wow. Wow. Hang on, folks.
Yep, don't go away. Let's see how this thing shakes out. Terry Labonte cleans the tires. The pace car pulls ahead.
Go, 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 go!
And Terry Labonte comes up, or rather, Andretti bumps the 5 car in the back end. Meanwhile, Bobby Hamilton challenging Andretti there for a while. Looks like Jeff is going to be able to win this thing. Here he is in the 4th corner. Jeff Gordon comes down and takes the checkered flag. There's a scramble for position behind Bobby Labonte. Rather, Hamilton gets 3rd. And Andretti lost about 3 positions there on that last lap.
You got a little bump from Bobby Hamilton there coming off of turn 4. Got him sideways. Andretti had to slow down a little bit and get off the gas, and that cost him.
Jerry's with Ray Evernham.
Wow, what drama, huh? Those last 2 laps, that was wild up there in turn 1 and 2.
Well, you're not kidding. I don't know what was going on there, but, thank God we won it. We got to thank God first, and I probably prayed harder to him than I have in a long time, but I don't know how much stomach lining I'm going to have left if we keep having finishes like this. I want to thank DuPont, Coca-Cola, Quaker State, Rick Hendrick, everybody that's worked on this deal, and that little guy driving that car right there. He does a heck of a job.
All right, well, let his crew chief go over and give his driver a high five. Win number 9 in 1996.
So Gordon and Labonte finish in first and second, but look what happened behind those two as the field scrambled for the third position and on back.
Well, here we see Bobby Hamilton right on the back bumper of John Andretti. There he hits him, gets him loose. Squarely, here comes Hamilton, and Andretti comes back into him, but it was too late. Rick Mast gets by as well, and did Morgan get by too?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so before he got to the finish line.
Now, let's watch it from the in-car here.
This is Kyle Petty's car.
Quite a scramble there on the last lap. But in any case, Jeff Gordon has won his 9th race of 1996. He's won the 3 of the last 4 events. It's his 18th career win and 4th on a short track. What a day for Jeff Gordon and Team Hendrick, as a matter of fact.
Rick says this is a good look.
So Jeff cools off just a little bit after a grueling day on the racetrack. Takes the steering wheel off. He's ready to step out of the car and receive the congratulations of the throng gathered here this afternoon.
All yours.
Yeah!
Our McDonald's Winner's Circle interview, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Boy, Jeff, what a finish. Let's go back with 4 laps to go. That was a close one.
Man, I tell you what, my teammate had me nervous there. He's so smooth and so good, and he's been through, so many different things. I didn't know if I could hold him off, but oh, man, I tell you what, I was so glad to see a caution there with about 25 to go. That set of tires we had on before that last caution or before that last set just wasn't really the best set for us, and that last set was awesome, though. And guys got us out front. It was a total team effort, and I want to thank DuPont Automotive Finishes. Goodyear had a great tire today. Quaker State, Coca-Cola, man. This is, I tell you, this is a meaningful win right here. To win at a short track like Martinsville, wow, you got to have a complete day.
Talking about a complete day. Let's go back to Dallenbach, spin with a few laps to go. You had to come off the curb to be able to miss him down there.
Well, it wasn't so much him as Dave Marcus. I didn't know which way he was going to go. And I saw that there was room on the inside, and I thought I was the only one going to go down there. But Dave shot to the bottom, too. And I had to go up on the grass and then race Terry back to the line because we knew, might end under caution or we're going to have a real shootout.
I know you said it's meaningful to win here at Martinsville, but beating your teammate, Terry Labonte, your friend and teammate, I mean, what a day he had coming back from a lap down.
When he had to get his lap back, I couldn't hold him off. I knew he was going to be a factor later on in the race as fast as he was running. And, I know what these Hendrick cars can do. I know what these Hendrick motors can do. And they certainly showed it today. And, if there's anybody I'm going to be nervous about, it's going to be my own teammates. And he was strong today. But we did our job. We gave 100% and just never gave up. And had a lot of patience today. I kind of know what those guys feel like now following Richard Petty back all those years because I followed that STP Pontiac all day.
Hey, so you got a bonus of 70 grand. Last week, look behind you. You got 10 more thousand. I know you don't need the money, but Brooke will find some place to put it.
Oh, I'm sure, Rick Hendrick and myself will find something really good to make that money goes towards. But, it's more than just the money. It's to win. This is an unbelievable feeling. I'm pretty shocked right now.
9th win on the year. The Hendrick motors, the Hendrick cars, and how about those Hendrick drivers finishing 1-2 here at Martinsville, Bob?
Rick Hendrick got his first win here in April of 1984 with Jeff Bodine. He now has 6 victories. Jeff Gordon wins here at Martinsville. Back in a moment.
Yeah. All right. A long time ago.
It's all over here at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon has won. Coming up next will be Shop Talk with Rusty Wallace right after the conclusion of our coverage here at Martinsville. Gordon wins, finishing in second position was Terry Labonte. Bill Weber is with him.
And Terry is down here. That is a very impressive day by driver and crew.
Well, I tell you what, we got off to a bad start, and the clutch linkage fell off there, and then we lost a lap in the pits. And then we got the clutch fixed, and then it fell off there at the end. But the guys did a great job, working on the car and getting that done, and we were able to get our lap back and come back and finish second. So it was a good run for our Kellogg Chevy. We just came up one spot short.
Come on, that was amazing.
Well, I tell you what, my car was good, but I needed more laps, and we didn't have enough laps there at the end, and then I couldn't stop anymore anyway because the clutch linkage was off again. But I'm happy with it. I'm glad it's over. I wish we would have won, but hey, we did the best we could.
You got a great crew, Terry. You really do.
We do. I tell you what, Andy Graves did a great job. Jumped in the car, had to take the steering wheel off, and he had a pair of vice grips and a clamp there, and he got the clutch linkage back on, and it held most of the day. So he really did a great job.
That's a big smile for a second-place finish from Terry Labonte. John Koenig.
Well, Bobby Hamilton is sitting here after a third-place finish. Bobby, I swear for a while there, it looked like you were going to just make a shambles out of the field.
I tell you what, that Unocal money was looking good. That's what we was after, and we just had a good race car, and these guys really worked real hard to do that, and we lost our best short-track car and intermediate car that we run everywhere, and we're just starting to get this car like it was, so it was a good day, Goodyear had a great tire, and I got to go to a sales meeting for STP next week, so this is a good way to go down there.
Yeah, you should be able to sell a lot of cans of STP. Tell me about that final lap, man. A lot happened on there.
It did. It looked like the 98 got a run on the 5 car, and the 5 car's done something, and 98 about spun him out, and we all had to lock down. And then we got down that corner, and they locked down again, and I accidentally got into the 98 by accident, because me and him's been caught with a NASCAR truck. We're not even supposed to touch, but I slid into him and knocked him around, and when he went up, I had to go, But, he had a good run today, too. I'm glad for them guys.
But on the last lap, you accidentally get into somebody, you can't back off, right?
No, because you're going to get run over if you do. And, that's what we're here for, to make it interesting for the fans. I'm sure they love that last lap. That's probably worth the whole race for them.
Does this pump you guys up for next week at Wilkesboro?
Yeah, we've been on a pretty good road for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we always come out of that little slump about this time of year and start going up. And we're trying to get back in the top 10 in points, and you just got to keep digging, man.
A lot of people who've been following the sport for a long time knows Richard Petty won 15 races here. Petty Engineering, 16 races, 16 victories here at the Martinsville Speedway. It was like old times. Richard came up to you at the gas pumps. What did he say to you?
He just said, "You done good, man, for what you had." We lost the lead in the pits there. We got a little behind right there, and the car just has, believe it or not, like a narrow push in traffic, And we wanted to put some more tape on the car, but we couldn't because of the water temperature.
That's Bobby Hamilton, finishes third today after leading the most laps, Bob.
And that scramble there on the last lap in the 4th corner resulted in John Andretti finishing in 5th position. Rick Mast also got around him. We'll be back to talk with John Andretti when we return to Martinsville, Virginia. ESPN Speed World coverage of the Haynes 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, won by Jeff Gordon. Being brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. By Sears Tire and Auto Centers. And by the all-new Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. Well, we promised you a conversation with John Andretti. Here's Jerry Punch.
John, you got to be smiling, man. What a job today. What a great run in the RCA Ford.
Thanks a lot. The RCA team did a great job. They made a good pit call there at one point, and we got up to second. And I don't know if we had a good enough car to win, but we had a good enough car for third, and that was important. I also want to say hello to my grandparents on the East Coast. My grandfather on my mom's side, he's going in for some surgery next week, so I want to wish him the best, too.
We wish him well, too. We were listening to Tony today. Tony Furr, your crew, you talked to you all day long. Hey, all day long he said, don't use the brakes, don't use the brakes. 30 laps to go, don't use the brakes. 15 laps to go, don't use the brakes. Finally, with 9 laps to go, it's okay, you can use them now. That's sort of like waiting until the water's already over the dam, isn't it?
I told him, I said, you can't make me mad. What'll make me mad is telling me afterwards I made a mistake. And they wanted to make sure that we had something there to race them at the end, and we did. We had a really great car, and it was real unfortunate the circumstances that happened on that last lap. You know, I'm really discouraged at some of the driving that happened in that. I feel like a victim and all that, but I'm real happy for the RCA team and be able to come out in 5th. You know, I couldn't be more excited for them.
We've already talked to Bobby Hamilton, who was the car that tagged you from behind. What do you do now? I mean, we saw what happens if you don't do it the right way at Dover last week when folks get in each other's face and begin to discuss what's going on with the weather, and you end up getting fined. Now, where do you go? Do you go to NASCAR and say, look, this shouldn't happen?
I'm a little too small to be fighting, so I'll leave that for the bigger guys. But you know, Bobby and I have had some run-ins this year. He's said some pretty nasty things on TV and I'm not going to say anything about him. I think he's a really good racer. I just think that he was probably trying really hard and got in there really deep, and I'm the one that paid the price for it. It's real unfortunate. Typically, you do that. You kind of let the guy get control of his car again and let him go on. But not only did he knock me back, but he cost me another position too. He knocked me from 3rd to 5th. So it's tough to handle. But on the other hand, you know, I mean, I'm going to be racing this sport for a long time, and I don't carry grudges, and I don't look to get people back. But I think that, you know, NASCAR needs to do something in one way, because, you know, otherwise you start taking in your own hands on the racetrack, and that's not what the fans come to see.
I know it may not be much consolation, but Bobby did pay you a compliment Tuesday. Didn't mean to hit you. You're a heck of a race car driver. That's what he told us a moment ago too. So you two guys coughing to each other. That's at least that's a good way to leave the racetrack. Let's check in with Rick Mast, who's standing by.
Well, Rick, a fine run today, 4th place, ran in 3rd for a while. Looks like you might have had something, but the car, just stayed a little too tight all day?
Yeah, we were, I wish I could start the race over. We had, you know, this morning we could have made the car a little looser, a little tighter, and we'd like to make it a little tighter, and it kind of bit me today. But, you know, at times the car would be as good as the leader, sometimes a little quicker, sometimes a little slower, but consistently it just wasn't quite good enough to do that. But, you know, that's kind of my call. But, man, the way our year's gone, we'll take anything right here at this point. This was like a new car, the second race of this car. Fatback back home told me this car would fly if we ever got it working right. And he was right. Thank you, Fatback. And say hi to Sharon. You hold them babies in there, get home after a while, guys.
Yeah, 6th place last week, 4th place today. I guess next week at Wilkesboro, what, 2nd?
Well, you know, I got the pole at the Kings last race. I got the pole at the first Indy Brickyard race. I think I could win the last race at Wilkesboro. That'd be cool. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Are you going to take this same car back there?
Yeah, more than likely. This is the car we'll take back.
All right, Rick Mast, a fine 4th place finish today.
Well, we will continue with our coverage here at Martinsville in just a moment. Remember, Shop Talk with Rusty Wallace will immediately follow our coverage here today. Jeff Gordon wins at Martinsville. Back after these messages. Dale Jarrett was the first driver to take the checkered flag in the 96 season with his second career win at the Daytona 500. 3 months later, a win under the lights at Charlotte gave Dale a shot at the $1 million at Darlington, but he failed to win it because of this.
Oh, he's in the wall! Jarrett is in the wall!
I'm in the wall.
Oh, no! Earlier this year, Dale found victory lane in the season's largest payoff at the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. Dale is a second quarter finalist for the True Value NASCAR Man of the Year, which is based on a combination of on-track and off-track community involvement. The winner is going to receive $50,000 to be split between the driver and his favorite charity. And Dale Jarrett has several local charitable efforts: the Brenner's Children Hospital, the Lutheran Brotherhood, Newton Conover Middle School, and the Carly Brayton Memorial Trust. Carly Brayton, of course, the young daughter of Scott Brayton, who was killed at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the month of May. So congratulations to Dale Jarrett, second quarter finalist. Here's John Kernan.
Well, what a run today by Jeff Burton until the end whenever you lost the brakes, but he came back from 2 laps down to get up into the top 5 late. How did you do it?
Well, our car was really good all day. Yesterday in practice, we felt like it was good, and we got a really good pit stop there. They got us in front of the 43 car. At that point, he was leading. The other lap we just made up on the racetrack, and then my pit crew gave me a good pit stop and got me in front of him, and were able to stretch the lead back out in front of him and then called a caution. So we made up 2 laps. It's a shame we had a brake problem there at the end. We wouldn't have enough time to win the race, but we surely had a top 5 easily in the bag. And I feel sorry for all the guys on the Sexside team because we worked so hard this whole year to get top 5 finishes. That's our goal, and we had another one here and just let it slip away a little bit.
The brake problem, was that a result of having to really push the car to make up the laps?
Well, all I can tell you is we put a month of effort into this brake cooling system, and I had to make up 2 laps, and I had to push it. And when you got to make up 2 laps, that's what it's all about. I mean, we get paid to run hard and get back in that lead lap, and I ran it hard, and nobody ran brakes any harder than we did, and probably I pushed them just a little bit too hard, but we had to do it.
What about next week? You looking forward to North Wilkesboro, same car?
Yeah, we'll take the same car, I believe. This is our best car. It's the car that we spend the most time with, and it's the first car that we've been able to take and spend all the time with and do every little thing we wanted to do. Everything else we've just had to build and throw together. This is our kind of a hand-built. Every little piece is hand-built, and this is the model for the rest of our cars, so we're pretty proud of it.
So this was from the ground up, whole chassis, everything, is that what you mean?
Well, it's actually the same car we ran at Richmond, so it ran pretty well there too. If we can go to Wilkesboro and run as good there as we run at these 2 places, I'm going to be pretty happy.
All right, that's Jeff Burton after an 11th place finish today.
And interesting to hear him say that they spent a month trying to figure out the brake problem and still couldn't. Shop Talk is coming up next. Don't go away, though. We have more interviews to do for you here this afternoon prior to the bottom of the hour. Plus, we've got a full field rundown, the points after this race, all kinds of stuff. So stay with us. We'll be back to Martinsville. So there you're caught up on the baseball scores from around the country today. We are at Martinsville, where we salute the winners from this weekend. Friday, Bobby Hamilton won the Busch Pole Award. Yesterday, in the Haynes 250 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event, Mike Skinner was the winner, and Jeff Gordon took home the cash today in the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Dr. Punch is with Dick Trickle.
Well, Dick, you started 8th and finished 13th, but that doesn't begin to tell the story of this Heilig-Myers Ford today. What a run you had.
Well, I'll tell you what, the boys got me a top 5 car there. Really where at the end of a run, where our brakes would fade a little bit up front and the car would go a little loose on me, but we still would maintain well. But the first half, 3/4 of a run, we drove ourselves up to 2nd place, past, Golden Boy and all them guys. So, I mean, you were running pretty good. And we had a clutch bypass on us during the pit stop and was engaging the clutch on us and rolled it off the jack. And evidently got one too many guys out there trying to pick it up, and get back on the jack. And NASCAR held us a little bit, so we lost the best part of 2 laps there. And that put us down to 13th. But we had a top 5 car. But, I'm just happy. Junior ain't been in the top 10 here for a long time up on the scoreboard, and I've had a rough time with it. So I'm just happy for the Heilig-Meyer people and the Klausner Furniture people, all the people that help us out. Maybe we'll put this thing together for next year, and we haven't sat down at the table yet, but they're a good group of guys, and it looks like it might work.
Hey, let's give him a little hand for the over the 50 bunch. He gets out of the car smelling like a rose, got his hair all combed, dressed up here. Hey, he's talking about those young pups. I mean, he wasn't tired at all. Talking about young pups, let's go to Bill Weber.
And I saw Kenny Wallace come bouncing in here this morning after hospitality, firing everybody up, and you come home with your 2nd top 10 of the season. Great run.
Well, not too bad for a new team. I want to say thanks to Square D. This sponsor's come on when we were nobody, and we're still nobody, but we're kind of like Dino Snake for Dome. We're striking here at the end, and, we thought that if we could get better towards the end of these races, towards the end of the year, that we'd be okay. And the guys performed flawlessly today, and just knew there was something in there because, boy, they really did an awesome job this morning. They were on that race car like a beehive, and they prepared it awesome. Everything really held up, and I'm just really excited, and it was a great day for me.
Okay, and he was inside watching the post-race report, so he's going back inside now.
Congratulations to Kenny Wallace. 10th place finish here this afternoon. We have the full field rundown and the point standings after Martinsville coming up before Shop Talk at the bottom of the hour. Back in a moment. Here are the unofficial results from the Haynes 500 here at Martinsville. Now, the little yellow arrows indicate those who led a lap, and the double arrow there by Bobby Hamilton's name indicates that he led the most laps. There were 8 cars on the lead lap when the checkered flag dropped.
So Jeff Gordon will gain 5 points today on Terry Labonte.
We'll show you the points here in just a minute after you see the field rundown. There's Dale Earnhardt down there in 15th position and Dale Jarrett in 16th. We didn't have a great deal of lap leaders today.
That's about the least this year, I believe.
As you take a look down at the final standings, though, you will see that Rusty Wallace, who was the first out, did lead a lap. In fact, he led quite a few there at the beginning before trouble erupted. Now, here are the point standings. The top 5 stayed the same. Jeff Gordon with an 81-point advantage on Terry Labonte heading to North Wilkesboro. Jarrett, Earnhardt, and Martin continue to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But 6 through 10, Ernie Irvan gained 3 positions. Ken Schrader stayed the same. Rudd lost 2. Wallace lost 1. And Sterling Marlin stayed in 10th position, 835 laps behind. Coming up Friday as we head to North Wilkesboro, Winston Cup qualifying live at 3 o'clock on ESPN2. Saturday, another NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event, the Lowe's Home Improvement 250. That's at 3 o'clock here on ESPN. Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time, NASCAR Today on ESPN2, and then the Tyson Holly Farms 400 live from North Wilkesboro at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. That will be the final event at that 5/8 mile speedway. Coming up next, we have Shop Talk with Rusty Wallace, an opportunity to have a conversation with Rusty and get some of his merchandise. Our congratulations to Jeff Gordon, who has won here this afternoon. 3 of the last 4 races Jeff Gordon has driven to victory lane. And he remains atop the point standings. For Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch, I'm Bob Jenkins. Thank you for joining us here on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.